Chapter 1921. Old Man, I. Hu Chunhua was a little ashamed of being lectured by Zhao Baoshan. She didn't admit her mistake in her heart, but it wasn't good to scold her in front of so many people, right? Zhao Baoshan glanced coldly at Hu Chunhua. If you have the time to argue with Yuner, why don't you go and check on Hui-er's situation? You're always distracted. Qian Zhonghuai also hurriedly pulled Hu Chunhua and said, Mother, you should go and check on little sister quickly. Don't continue to argue. Little sister is the most important. By the way, Dr. Sun's medicine also needs to be boiled quickly for little sister to drink. Speaking of this, Hu Chunhua's expression changed. At this time, she really should pay more attention to Zhao Xinhui. Then I won't argue with Yuner. I'm going to check on Hui-er. Hu Chunhua muttered. Zhao Yuner felt very strange. Although Zhao Baoshan was more reasonable and helped her reprimand Hu Chunhua's attitude made her unhappy. How could it be so easy to leave as she wished? Grandmother, you're in the wrong today. No matter what, you have to apologize to me, right? Isn't it a little inappropriate to just leave like this? Hu Chunhua furrowed her brows and replied angrily, What are you talking about, girl? I've already left and you're still arguing with me. I'm your grandmother. How can you treat your elders like this? How can an elder apologize to a younger generation? Don't push your luck. I'm pushing my luck. Don't I need to apologize for doing something wrong? Zhao Yuner asked coldly. The surrounding villagers couldn't stand it and criticized Hu Chunhua. Aunt Zhao is really interesting. What's wrong with apologizing to Yuner when you're not in the right? She's so angry. Yun is so pitiful. She has such an elder. She's taking advantage of her seniority. Who does she think she is? Not only did Hu Chunhua feel embarrassed, but Zhao Baoshan also felt embarrassed. Zhao Baoshan urged Hu Chunhua, Old woman, it's your fault. Apologize to Yuner now. Hu Chunhua reluctantly apologized to Zhao Yuner. Okay. Yuner, it's my fault. I'll apologize to you and apologize, okay? After saving her face, Zhao Yuner glanced at Hu Chunhua with her sharp eyes and said, Since you know you're in the wrong, then let's forget about it. But I hope you'll watch your mouth in the future. Don't slander others and falsely accuse a good person. Hu Chunhua gritted her teeth and agreed. This wretched girl. She would definitely settle the score with her later. She was so angry. After Hu Chunhua went into the house, Zhao Baoshan walked to Zhao Yuner and said to Zhao Yuner, Yuner, it's your grandmother's fault. Don't argue with her. We're a family. She's just too anxious when something so serious happened to your aunt. Zhao Yuner replied indifferently, Grandmother, you don't have to tell me. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Seeing Zhao Yuner's departing figure, Zhao Baoshan's face was full of helplessness. At this time, he was most worried about Zhao Xinhui's situation. He and Hu Chunhua were worried about different things. Hu Chunhua was worried about Zhao Xinhui's health, while Zhao Baoshan was worried about Zhao Xinhui's future. Chapter 1922. He didn't care about having more food to eat, but he felt that it was inconvenient in many places. Putting everything else aside, Hu Chunhua still had to serve this daughter of his like an ancestor every day. He didn't know when Zhao Xinhui would be sensible. The originally noisy old Zhao's courtyard quieted down because of Zhao Yuner's departure, and the villagers went back in twos and threes. When Zhao Yuner rushed home, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao were worried and asked about Zhao Yuner's situation. Yuner, did you and your grandmother cause too much trouble? Not much. But this time, we have to thank her for scooping up all the soup in our pot. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao were puzzled, and Zhao Yuner told them what had happened. After listening to Zhao Yun's explanation, Zhao Wenhua patted his chest in fear and muttered, "Thank goodness, thank goodness. If your mother drank it, the child in your mother's belly would be miscarried." Zhao Yun responded faintly. Liang Jinchao felt a little guilty. Yun's father, although that's what you said, the child in my aunt's belly is still a child. Aren't you using her child to exchange for my child? I feel very guilty. Zhao Yun knew that Liang Jinchao was a kind person. He couldn't bear to hurt small animals, let alone an innocent child. If she didn't comfort Liang Jinchao well, this matter would probably always be in his heart. Zhao Yun comforted her. "Mother, this soup was supposed to be drunk by us, but my grandmother came and snatched it away. We couldn't stop her. Now that my aunt's child is gone, it's my grandmother's fault. It has nothing to do with you. In my opinion, this matter was arranged by God to let mother keep the child in her womb and let little aunt lose her life." Zhao Wenhua also hurriedly chimed in, "Yes, yes, yes. Yun'er's mother, Yun'er is right. This matter was arranged by God. God wants to protect the child in your belly." Liang Jinchao still could not let it go and asked, "Is that really the case?" "Of course. Mother, many things were arranged by the heavens. Otherwise, how could today's situation be so coincidental? Perhaps God doesn't want Auntie to keep the baby in her belly." Liang Jinchao sighed faintly and said, "Yun'er, no matter what, your aunt has lost her child. After all, we are related to each other. She was the one who saved me. In the future, I have to send her some food to nourish her body." Zhao Yun'er patted Liang Jinchao's shoulder comfortingly and said, "Mother, I know. I will send some food to Auntie to nourish her body." Seeing that Zhao Xinhui had saved her from a disaster, she was not stingy with some food. This was to make Liang Jinchao feel less guilty. However, she was afraid that Zhao Xinhui would not dare to eat casually anymore. This matter should be able to teach old Zhao's family a lesson. Mu Lianfeng prepared to go back to the Shizi mansion because it was going to be the Dragon Boat Festival. Every year during the Dragon Boat Festival, he would spend it with Matriarch Mu. After all, he was the only one left in the Mu family. If he did not accompany Matriarch Mu, then Matriarch Mu would have to spend the Dragon Boat Festival alone in the Shizi mansion. Mu Lianfeng, who usually paid attention to filial piety, naturally would not let this happen. Previously, he had been avoiding Matriarch Mu and had not returned to the Mu mansion for a long time. Now, he should go back and take a look. Chapter 1923. He knew that old Madame Mu didn't agree before, so this matter had been delayed. Now that the emperor had granted the marriage, even old Madame Mu had no room to object. So now he could take Zhao Yun'er back. As a man, even if Zhao Yun'er never said it, she might not care. But for a man, he must give his wife and children a proper identity. With the marriage granted by the emperor and Daodu as her son, old Madame Mu wouldn't be too embarrassed. When the time came, he would take Zhao Yun'er and Daodu back to accompany old Madame Mu to celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival, and let the old lady experience the joy of 4 generations living under the same roof. With such a true feeling, old Madame Mu would be more willing to accept Zhao Yun'er. Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun'er discussed this matter, and Zhao Yun'er didn't object. Old Madame Mu was dissatisfied with her because of her identity, and this was the way the society was. It wasn't old Madame Mu's unique view. After all, she was Mu Lianfeng's biological grandmother. Since she was with Mu Lianfeng, she had to accept Mu Lianfeng's family. The two of them prepared for a while and went back in 2 days. Before Zhao Yun'er went to the Shizi mansion, she brought some small gifts. Knowing that the Shizi mansion didn't lack gold, silver, silk, satin, and all kinds of delicacies, Zhao Yun'er brought some special things that were made by herself. They were all treasures in the mountains. She didn't eat them on normal days, so she brought them to old Madame Mu. Before Zhao Yun left for the Shitzi mansion, the people of the Tian family came over. This time, the Tian family didn't come empty-handed to Zhao Yun's house. They brought some vegetables, some eggs, and some fresh fruits. The fruits were from their own fruit trees. The peaches and plums looked good. However, when the Tian family came, the third branch didn't welcome them. The marriage that had been agreed upon with the Tian family was cancelled by the Tian family because Zhao Yun was pregnant before marriage. Although others felt that it was normal and reasonable for the Tian family to withdraw from the engagement, no one used the Tian family's withdrawal as an excuse. But for Zhao Yun at that time, it could be said to be one disaster after another. At that time, the third branch was very embarrassed and humiliated. Since then, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao had treated the Tian family as their enemy. How could they be nice to the Tian family? After 3 years, he had almost forgotten about the Tian family. Who would have thought that these people would be so thick-skinned as to come knocking on his door? Zhao Wenhua frowned when he saw the Tian couple and Tian Wenhan coming to his house. He didn't know what they were planning to do. When the Tian family saw Zhao Yun's 10 brick houses, they were deeply shocked. They came to the village today to ask around. Soon, they found out where Zhao Yun's new residence was and rushed over. Others might not have a direct impression of it, but when he saw it with his own eyes, he finally understood what it meant to be imposing. There were only a few houses like Zhao Yun's house in the surrounding villages. Only rich landlords could afford it. This house cost at least a few hundred taels. It could be imagined how rich Zhao Yun's family was now. After seeing Zhao Yun's new house, the Wu clan was even more determined to let Tian Wenhan marry Zhao Yun. When Zhao Yun came back with them, their family would also build a big house. In this way, she could live in a big, spacious, and comfortable brick house like the third branch. What are you doing here? Zhao Wenhua asked unhappily, as if he wanted to drive them away. Chapter 1924. Just now, he was shocked by Zhao Yun's house. He was so fascinated that he didn't recover from it. Seeing Zhao Wenhua's displeased expression, the Wu clan laughed and said, "Brother Zhao, we're here today because we have something to discuss." Zhao Wenhua replied angrily, "If you have something to say, just say it. Don't waste my time. If you're done, get out of here." Facing Zhao Yunhua's attitude, the Tian couple were extremely displeased. Wasn't this clearly not putting them in their eyes? However, for the sake of today's business, the Wu clan suppressed their anger and said with a smile, "Brother Zhao, don't be angry. Our Tian family was in the wrong. I know you're angry, but we're here today to make it up to your family." While the Wu clan was talking, Liang Jinxiao came out of the house. Usually, Liang Jinxiao was gentle and didn't give others a hard time. However, when he saw the Tian family, his reaction was similar to Zhao Wenhua's. When he heard the Wu clan's words, Liang Jinxiao replied coldly, "Our family doesn't need any compensation. Hurry up and leave." Sigh. The Wu clan was a little anxious. "You haven't heard how I'm going to make it up to you. Why are you in such a hurry to chase us away? How can you do this?" His words contained his displeasure towards Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao. The Tian family had been polite enough to come over today and speak nicely to them. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were already very polite. However, this couple was too much. "I said that we don't need any compensation. Who knows if you're here today with bad intentions? When you broke off the engagement with Yun'er, our families swore not to interact with each other. Why are you here today?" Zhao Wenhua replied bluntly. Then, she picked up the broom at home and was about to chase them away. Liang Jinxiao also hoped that the Tian family would leave as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would be bad if Zhao Yun saw them. Although Zhao Yuner had forgotten about Tian Wenhan, who knew if she would remember something after seeing him. Right now, their family and Zhao Yuner were living very well. There was no need for the Tian family to come and mess things up. When the Tian family saw the increase in Zhao Wenhua's price, they shouted, "Who are you? You're a guest. Let's not talk about how you treat them, but you can't chase them away, right? Is this how your family treats others?" Zhao Wenhua snorted and replied, "Of course we treat people politely, but it's different when it comes to dogs. Who says that we have to treat dogs politely and not chase them away?" When the Tian family heard Zhao Wenhua comparing them to dogs, they all looked very embarrassed. "Wenhan's mother, why don't we leave? They're looking down on us. We don't have to come over. Otherwise, they'll think that our Tian family is sticking to them." Tian Wenhan's father, Tian Shuanyo, was a man who cared about his reputation. Now that he was being scolded by Zhao Wenhua, how could he stand it? He tugged at the Wu clan and expressed that he wanted to leave. Although the Wu clan was angry, they were a little unwilling when they thought about Zhao Yuner's family's money. If they left, they would lose everything. Wouldn't they have come here for nothing today? "We're not leaving." "Wenhan's father, have you forgotten what I told you?" Wu clan bit his lower lip and said. Chapter 1925. But with the Zhao family's attitude now, was it possible? They weren't even willing to talk to them, so how could they be willing to discuss the marriage? Tian Shuanyo had no choice but to wait and see what the Wu clan would say next. The Wu clan stepped forward and continued, "Brother Zhao, don't be angry. Let's calm down and talk. After listening to what I have to say, I promise you won't be angry anymore. At least let us finish talking. If you're still angry after we finish talking, then we'll leave, okay?" The Wu clan was sure that as long as the Tian family agreed to let Tian Wenhan marry Zhao Yuner, the Zhao family would definitely be grateful. By then, they would be overjoyed. How could they chase them away? This time, the Wu clan's attitude was good. Liang Jinxiao was also curious about what the Tian family wanted to say. Liang Jinxiao discussed with Zhao Wenhua, Yun's father, "Why don't we let them finish talking? Let's see what they're here for." Zhao Wenhua's face darkened. After thinking for a moment, he said, "Okay, let them talk. When they're done, they'll leave quickly." The Wu clan's face was full of smiles. He hurriedly said, "It's like this. Brother Zhao, sister-in-law Zhao, didn't our Wenhan break off the engagement? I've also inquired about it. Your family's Yun hasn't remarried since then. However, there's nothing we can do about it. After all, she's a virgin and got pregnant before marriage. It's difficult for her to find another husband. But a girl has to get married eventually. She can't stay at home forever and be an old aunt, right? Today, we're here to continue discussing the marriage of the two children. Our Wenhan isn't married either. Why don't he marry Yun? Anyway, the two children were engaged back then. They're in love with each other." After the Wu clan finished speaking, Tian Wenhan hurriedly stepped forward and said to Zhao Wenhua very respectfully, "Uncle Zhao, Wenhan has been obsessed with Yun for the past few years. If I can be with Yun I'll definitely treat Yun well in the future and take care of Yun I'll never let Yun down in this life." After listening to Tian Wenhan's words and seeing that Tian Wenhan was different from the Tian family, his attitude was very sincere. It could be seen that Tian Wenhan really put Zhao Yun in his heart. However, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao only felt that the Tian family's words were funny. It was the Tian family who came to break off the engagement. Now, it was also the Tian family who came to say that they wanted to be together again. It was as if they could do whatever they wanted without considering the Zhao family's opinion. The Wu clan said, "Brother Zhao, Auntie Zhao, you also know that our Wenhan is good at studying. He passed the county level long ago. It's only a matter of time before he becomes a provincial scholar. If your Yun can marry Wenhan, it'll be her fortune. She can even become the wife of an official in the future. If you miss this opportunity, you won't have another one. With Yun Er's qualifications, you definitely won't be able to find someone better than our Wenhan. The Wu clan's attitude was a bit high and mighty. In the eyes of Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao, they felt that their Yun was climbing up the social ladder by marrying Tian Wenhan. If it was in the past, the Zhao family might have considered accepting if the Tian family proposed a new engagement. However, Zhao Yun now had Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's status was not something that Zhao Wenhan could compare to. Chapter 1926. Zhao Wenhua's answer was beyond the Tian couple's expectations. Even Tian Wenhan was surprised. The Wu clan didn't understand. If it were any other family, the Wu clan would have been more than happy to accept their proposal. What was with the Zhao family's reaction? Could it be that he really doesn't intend to marry Zhao Yun off? Did they want Zhao Yun to stay at home forever? How could there be parents who didn't consider their child's situation at all? Brother Zhao, sister-in-law Zhao, we came here with sincerity. You can't do this, right? You should at least listen to Yun Er's opinion. She has to say that she doesn't want to marry. Aren't you harming her by keeping her at home and not marrying her off? Don't tell me you want her to stay single forever and be laughed at by the villagers. The Wu clan replied unhappily. How could Zhao Yunlong not understand the faces of the Tian couple? How could the Tian family come here with sincerity for the good of the two children? They wanted the two children to be together. It was obvious that they wanted the third branch's money. If the third branch didn't have such a good life, I probably wouldn't have come to visit the Tian family. Perhaps Tian Wenhan was sincere, and the Tian couple was definitely here for the sake of money. After the Wu clan finished speaking, Zhao Yun came back with Daodu from outside the courtyard. She had heard the Wu clan's words just now and felt that it was a little funny. It seemed that in other people's eyes, she was really an unmarried old woman who was despised by others. After knowing the Wu clan's identity, Zhao Yun sneered and replied, I have the same opinion as my father. I don't want to marry. I'm really not worthy of your family, so you should go back. Hearing Zhao Yun voice, the Tian couple and Tian Wenhan all looked at Zhao Yun Zhao Yun was wearing a peach-pink dress. The fabric of the dress was thin, and it was most refreshing to wear in summer. Whether it was the color or the style, it was very beautiful. In addition, with Zhao Yun's slim figure and a pearl hairpin in her hair, she simply dressed up, just like a young lady of a big family, beautiful and elegant. Where was the rough appearance of a peasant girl? If she didn't say it, no one would think that Zhao Yun was from the countryside. Moreover, Zhao Yun's skin had been nourished until it was rosy and fair, making her even more attractive. The last time he saw Zhao Yun was only wearing coarse clothes because she was working. At this moment, Zhao Yun was resting at home and didn't have to do any rough work, so she wore a nice dress. It was precisely because of this that Zhao Yun was different from others. And beside Zhao Yun there was a 3-year-old baby. The baby was also very delicate, just like a porcelain doll. He was also wearing brocade clothes, and the fabric of the clothes was very valuable. When this pair of mother and son walked out, people would think that they were a madam and a young master of a big family. The Tian family's eyes were straight. Who would have thought that Zhao Yun and her son would become like this? Just based on Zhao Yun's appearance, it was estimated that many rich people would like her. It wouldn't be difficult for her to marry again. When Tian Wenhan saw such a beautiful Zhao Yun, he instantly felt that he was not worthy of her. Originally, he had gathered his courage to come over, but now, he only had a guilty conscience in his heart. This is Yunner girl. Tian Shui Nyo muttered in disbelief. Chapter 1927. The Zhao family has really changed a lot compared to before. Tian Shui Nyo sighed. If they had known that the Zhao family would become so prosperous one day, and that Zhao Yun would become so beautiful, their Tian family wouldn't have broken off the engagement. Zhao Yun walked to the Tian family, raised her eyebrows, and said, "What? Didn't you hear what I said? Why haven't you left yet?" Yun, Tian Wenhan's burning gaze fell on Zhao Yun, and he was reluctant to look away. His voice became a little hoarse, and when he stared at Zhao Yun, there was a little tenderness in his eyes. Zhao Yun, smiled slightly as a greeting. She didn't like the Tian family couple, but Zhao Yun's first impression of Tian Wenhan wasn't bad. He was a gentleman. After all, Tian Wenhan had helped her before, so Zhao Yun remembered it in her heart, and wouldn't be too angry at people who helped her before. As for Tian Wenhan's involvement in breaking off the engagement, Zhao Yun didn't blame Tian Wenhan for it. In this era, parents were the ones who dictated the matchmaker's words. How many people could decide their own marriage? In the end, it was the original Zhao Yun who let her down, not her. Zhao Yun didn't have much hatred for Tian Wenhan. "Yun, her girl, why don't you consider our family's Wenhan? Our family's Wenhan is so outstanding. It's your blessing that he's willing to propose marriage. If you miss this village, there won't be another shop." The Wu clan continued to ask, unwilling to give up. When Zhao Yun heard the Wu clan's words, she knew that this woman was acting like her son was the best in the world. If she married Tian Wenhan, it would be Tian Wenhan who suffered a loss. If she really married into the Tian family, she didn't know how the Wu clan would look down on her. What's there to consider? I said I don't agree, so I don't agree. No matter how good your son is, it's your business. You can find a more suitable wife. You don't have to find me at all. Zhao Yun coldly replied. The Wu clan and Tian Shui Nyo looked at each other, and their eyes were filled with confusion and anger. The situation was far from what they had expected. The Zhao family actually didn't agree to this marriage. Tian Shui Nyo advised, Wenhan's mother, since he has already said so, let's just leave. With Wenhan's qualifications, why does he have to look for the Zhao family to take the bride? Later, I'll ask the matchmaker to tell them how many good girls he can't find. However, Madame Wu stood still. She just couldn't take it lying down. Zhao Yunlong chased him away with a dark face. Hurry up and leave. If you don't leave, don't blame me for being rude. As Zhao Yunlong spoke, he waved the broom in his hand, as if he was chasing him away. The Wu clan also had a bad temper. They stood in the courtyard and scolded, "What kind of person is this? What kind of attitude is this? This family is really strange. Our family's Wenhan is so good. It's a great favor for you to come and propose marriage. Do you really think you're so great because you have money? You think you can find someone better than our family's Wenhan because you have money? Let me tell you, that's impossible. Zhao Yun is a woman who got pregnant before marriage. Ordinary countrymen are too lazy to want her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have remained unmarried for so many years. Our family's Wenhan is a scholar. He's also handsome. You can't find anyone like him. In my opinion, when Zhao Yun is a few years older, she can only marry an old man if she wants to marry. Chapter 1928. Or maybe the Wu clan really thought that their son was not good enough for anyone. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxia were very unhappy with the Wu clan's words. Even if the Tian Wenhan was really good, they couldn't belittle Zhao Yun, just because the Tian family had rejected them. They made it sound as if Xiao Yun was really worthless and no man was willing to marry her. However, the reality was the opposite of what the Wu clan had said. Not only did Xiao Yun have someone who was willing to marry her, but the man was also the current crown prince. The Tian Wenhan couldn't compare to such a noble man in any way. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao were about to say something when Mu Lianfeng came back. Mu Lianfeng heard the Wu clan's words and sneered. Who said that no one wants Yun, and she can only marry an old man? Mu Lianfeng's cold voice rang out. The Tian family looked behind them and saw a tall and noble man walking over. Judging by the man's temperament and clothes, they knew that he was not an ordinary person. The Tian family looked at Mu Lianfeng curiously. They were curious about Mu Lianfeng's identity. Who was this man? While the Tian family was puzzled, Daodu called out sweetly to Mu Lianfeng, "Daddy." The Tian family was stunned. "Daddy?" Daodu called Mu Lianfeng daddy. Didn't that mean that he was Xiao Yun's man? But they didn't hear that Xiao Yun was married. How did a man appear out of nowhere? Mu Lianfeng walked over to Xiao Yun and held Xiao Yun's hand. He looked at Xiao Yun with a touch of tenderness in his eyes. Yun, this is. The Wu clan couldn't help but ask. They should at least figure out the man's identity. Before Xiao Yun could answer, Mu Lianfeng introduced himself to the Wu clan. I'm Yun's future husband. I'll marry Yun soon. So Yun will never marry your son. Of course, it's not that no one wants her. After Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, the Wu clan's eyes widened. They couldn't believe it. The man in front of them had an extraordinary identity. How could he marry a woman like Xiao Yun? Didn't he know that Xiao Yun was pregnant before she got married? Ordinary families wouldn't be willing to marry such an indecent woman, let alone rich and powerful families. After Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, Zhao Wenhua added, "Sister-in-law of the Tian family, maybe you don't know. Our Yun is going to marry Shizi soon. The Tian family came to propose marriage, but our Zhao family really doesn't want it." Xiao Yun saw that Zhao Wenhua seemed to be doing it on purpose. It turned out that her father had a cute side. He said this to vent his anger and to show off in front of the Wu clan. After Zhao Wenhua said this, he did feel a lot better. Didn't the Tian family look down on people? Didn't they look down on their family's Yun? Now, he would let them know what it meant to look down on others. No matter how powerful and well-off Tian Wenhan was, he was still far behind Mu Lianfeng. The Tian family felt that Yun was climbing up the social ladder, but they didn't expect that there was someone better behind her. Seeing the shocked faces of the Tian family, Liang Jinqiao couldn't help but cover his mouth and laugh secretly. This time, he really vented his anger. It was as if he had won back the face he had lost when the engagement was broken. This is impossible. Brother Zhao, who do you think this is? Shizi. This is Shizi. Chapter 1929. Madame Wu pointed at Mu Lianfeng and asked. The shock in her eyes showed that she was in disbelief at this moment. She muttered, "How is that possible? How can this person be the current heir apparent? Don't mislead people. How can the heir apparent be interested in Yun?" Xiao Yun found the rich expressions on Wu clan's face very funny. Even if she was jealous and uncomfortable, there was no need to make it so obvious, right? However, this slap in the face really made her feel very bitter. Sister-in-law of the Tian family, it's not up to you to decide whether or not he is the heir apparent. Is it useless for you to say no? Zhao Wenhua raised her head and said. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. He stood in front of Wu clan with his hands clasped behind his back and said to Wu clan, "Why? Do you think I don't look like the heir apparent?" When Mu Lianfeng came over and spoke, the aura on his body was released, and a wave of pressure pressed down on everyone's bodies. Wu Clan was shocked by this aura and couldn't help but tremble. Who knows? If you say you are the heir apparent, then so be it. There's no way to verify it. Wu Clan mumbled, unwilling to believe it. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled. He took out a waist token and handed it to Tian Wenhan. He said to Tian Wenhan, "You look like a scholar. Since that's the case, you should recognize this, right?" Tian Wenhan took the waist token and glanced at it. Then he hurriedly said respectfully to Mu Lianfeng, "Heir apparent." Seeing Tian Wenhan's reaction, he seemed to recognize it. If it was someone else who said that Wu Clan was the heir apparent, she wouldn't believe it. However, since Tian Wenhan said it, she had to believe it even if she didn't want to. Tian Wenhan couldn't lie. Wu Clan's lips trembled as she moved closer to Tian Wenhan and asked, "Wenhan, are you sure? Is this person really the heir apparent?" Tian Wenhan said with a sullen face, "Mother, how could I be wrong? I've read about the nobility in books and teachers." Although he didn't want to admit it, it was the truth. He couldn't deny it, right? Mu Lianfeng took back the waist token in Tian Wenhan's hand and said, "Auntie, since it's proven, I hope you don't speak nonsense." Mu Lianfeng's warning tone was very obvious. Wu Clan's mother's mother's mother. Zhao Yunhua and Liang Jinchao faced Madame Tian and felt very proud. Back then, it was one thing for the Tian family to break off the engagement, but they also said a lot of unpleasant things. They trampled on the third branch, not giving them any face at all. Zhao Yun had already suffered a blow from that incident. Coupled with the Tian family's disturbance, she almost died. Fortunately, they had endured through everything. It was really a case of guarding a mountain until the sun came out. Now, it was the Tian family that was the face of the three branches. "Since you know, why don't you leave? In the future, our Yun will marry the heir apparent." Zhao Wenhua waved his hand and urged them to leave. Tian Shui Niu hurriedly pulled the Wu Clan back. "That's enough, Wenhan's mother. Let's go. It's embarrassing to stay here any longer. Why bother?" Wu Clan looked at the third branch unwillingly. Seeing the faint smile on their faces, they felt that they had lost all face today. If they had known this would happen, they wouldn't have come. Chapter 1930. Originally, they thought that if Zhao Yun could marry into the Tian family, the Zhao family would definitely agree. Moreover, it was Zhao Yun who was climbing up their Wenhan's social ladder. Who knew that Zhao Yun's family was so powerful that they even recognized the Shiziyi? More importantly, the Shiziyi was willing to marry Zhao Yun. No wonder the Zhao family looked down on the Tian family. It turned out that there was someone better behind them. Just now, the Wu Clan's words were like a slap to their own face. The Tian family naturally couldn't keep their faces. Being pulled by Tian Shui Niu, the Wu Clan had no choice but to leave the third branch's courtyard. However, before leaving, they still said unwillingly, "Really, isn't it just because she climbed up to the Shiziyi that she looks down on our Wenhan? Despising the poor and loving the rich, this kind of person will also be wanted." The third branch was a little speechless. What did he mean by despising the poor and loving the rich? Could it be that when there was someone with better conditions, he would still choose someone with worse conditions to be with? As long as there was nothing wrong with her head, she should know how to choose. Of course, the most important thing was that Mu Lianfeng was Daodu's biological father. Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng were in love with each other. Mu Lianfeng treated Zhao Yun and her son extremely well. How many men could compare to him? After the Wu Clan finished speaking, Tian Wenhan said to the Wu Clan with a serious face, "Mother, don't say such things. Yun choosing the Shiziyi is understandable. After all, I really can't compare to the Shiziyi. If Yun can live a good life with the Shizi in the future, I will also be happy in my heart. Tian Wenhan said this to the Wu clan, and also to Zhao Yun. Although he was a little sad that the woman he loved was with another man, he still hoped that Zhao Yun could live a good life and that Zhao Yun could be happy. If he couldn't give it to her, at least there were other men who could help her. Tian Wenhan's gaze fell on Zhao Yun. He was nervous, but he was reluctant to look away. No matter how reluctant he was, he had to leave. Yuner, sorry for disturbing you today. My mother and I shouldn't have come. I wish you and the Crown Prince a long and happy life together. Tian Wenhan left these words as if he was remembering something. Then he turned around and pulled Tian Shuanyo and the Wu clan. Dad, Mom, let's go. Don't embarrass yourself here. Yes, yes, yes. Wenhan's mother, let's hurry up and leave. The Wu clan had no choice but to leave. They followed Tian Wenhan and Tian Shuanyo out of Zhao Yuner's courtyard. On the way, the Wu clan looked for Tian Wenhan again to confirm. Wenhan, do you think that person is an impostor? How could he be the crown prince? Tian Wenhan's face was full of sadness. He said helplessly, Mom, if someone impersonates the crown prince, they will be beheaded. Who would dare to impersonate him? Hearing that he would be beheaded, the Wu clan quickly shut up. Indeed, no one dared to joke about this. However, she was still shocked and uncomfortable. Not only did they make a trip for nothing, but they also returned with a belly full of anger. Today, the third branch of the Zhao family was obviously arrogant in front of the Tian family. Speaking of which, that Yuner girl is really not human. The Wu clan pushed the blame to Zhao Yuner. Tian Wenhan frowned and said helplessly, Mom, how could this have anything to do with Yuner? Chapter 1931. Tian Wenhan was silent for a moment. He thought of Mu Lianfeng, that tall and upright man. Whether it was status, appearance, or attitude toward Zhao Yun, he was much better than him. How could he compare with Mu Lianfeng? Regardless of whether Zhao Yun had a change of heart or not, choosing Mu Lianfeng was definitely the best. As a man, he could tell from the way Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun that he was sincere about her. Wasn't it a blessing for Zhao Yun that a person of such noble status could be like this? He felt ashamed in front of Mu Lianfeng. How could he extravagantly ask Zhao Yun to trust Mu Lianfeng and choose to be with him? In the end, he was the one who let Zhao Yun down in the past. Originally, he came here today to see if he would have this opportunity, but now it seemed impossible. He relied on their friendship in the past and thought that Zhao Yun might still like him and might consider him. Today, he came here to see everything clearly, so he naturally gave up. Therefore, in the face of Wu clan's words, Tian Wenhan said with a cold face, Mother, don't say that. Our Tian family let Yun down in the past. It's been a few years. Isn't it natural for Yun to find a better husband? Why do you continue to wait for me? You're protecting that girl. I don't see you showing any mercy in the past. Before Wu clan could continue to nag, Tian Wenhan replied, Mother, if you continue, I'll get angry. Tian Shuanyo hurriedly patted Wu clan's back. Okay, Wenhan's mother, don't say any more. Don't you think it's embarrassing enough? Wu clan finally shut up, her face full of hidden bitterness. After the Tian Wenhan family left, the people of the third branch acted as if they had driven away the plague. Zhao Wenhua grumbled, this Tian family is really inhumane. Why did they have to come to our house to cause trouble? Sigh, it's good that they're gone. It's a good thing that young Master Shizi is here. Otherwise, who knows what kind of joke our family will be. Yes. It's all thanks to the Crown Prince. Mu Lianfeng helped Zhao Yun and Dao back to their room. He didn't expect that Zhao Yun had been engaged to another man before. Thinking about it, if it wasn't because Zhao Yun was pregnant with Dao Du, it was estimated that Zhao Yun and Tian Wenhan would be together. Mu Lianfeng secretly rejoiced. He really couldn't imagine that his Yuner had become another man's wife. Perhaps what happened before was God's arrangement. Otherwise, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to find another woman to love like Zhao Yuner in this lifetime. Soon, it was the day to go to Shitzi Manor. Before going, Zhao Yuner was a little nervous and worried. She was afraid that Matriarch Mu didn't like her. After all, Matriarch Mu was Mu Lianfeng's biological grandmother. If Matriarch Mu could accept her, it would reduce the conflict between grandfather and grandson. She wouldn't add to Mu Lianfeng's worries because of her. Zhao Yuner dressed up early in the morning. She took off the coarse clothes that she usually wore and changed into an exquisite silk dress. This dress was made of the cloth sent by the emperor, so she was dressed very luxuriously. She combed her hair into a bun and wore jewelry that the emperor gave her. After dressing up, Zhao Yuner added a bit of nobility to her body. Although her appearance wasn't the best, it was still delicate and made people feel comfortable looking at her. Chapter 1932. Bringing their things, the family of three rushed to the Shitzi mansion. Mu Lianfeng had sent a message to old Madame Mu, saying that he was going back to accompany her for the festival. Early in the morning, old Madame Mu and the servants of the Shitzi mansion were waiting for Mu Lianfeng's return at the door. Because of the imperial court matters, Mu Lianfeng was using this as an excuse to not return to the Shitzi mansion. Grandfather and grandson had not been together for a long time. As one grew older, they naturally hoped that their grandchildren could be by their side. In addition, old Madame Mu only had one relative, Mu Lianfeng, so she missed him even more. When she heard that Mu Lianfeng was going back to the Shitzi mansion to celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival, old Madame Mu was very excited. Early in the morning, she brought the servants to wait at the door. At about 8:00 in the morning, the carriage slowly stopped at the door of the Shitzi mansion. Mu Lianfeng walked out of the carriage first. Before old Madame Mu could greet him excitedly, she saw two more people coming out of the carriage. One was Zhao Yun and the other was Dao Du. Old Madame Mu was very familiar with Dao Du and liked this child even more. When she first saw Dao Du, she felt a sense of closeness. As for Zhao Yun old Madame Mu did not recognize her at first glance because this time, Zhao Yun was very different from the last time. After observing Zhao Yun's appearance, old Madame Mu was able to determine who Zhao Yun was. Grandma. After Mu Lianfeng helped Zhao Yun and Dao Du down, he turned to old Madame Mu and called out to her. Old Madame Mu came back to her senses and grabbed Mu Lianfeng's hand. Feng, you're finally back. Grandma missed you so much. Mu Lianfeng's nose twitched. How could he not miss her? No matter what, old Madame Mu was his biological grandmother. She had raised him single-handedly. It was not Matriarch Mu's objection to Zhao Yun How could he bear to leave for such a long time? Grandma, Feng misses you too. Mu Lianfeng choked with sobs. Old Madame Mu patted Mu Lianfeng's hand and said, "It's good that you're back, it's good that you're back. Hurry up and enter the mansion. Grandma has prepared your favorite dishes. You haven't eaten since you came back so early in the morning, right?" Mu Lianfeng responded but did not rush into the mansion. Instead, he pulled Zhao Yun and Dao Du's hands and said to old Madame Mu, "Grandma, I brought Yun and Dao Du back." Speaking of Zhao Yun old Madame Mu frowned slightly. It was obvious that she still did not like Zhao Yun After glancing at Zhao Yun indifferently, she asked Mu Lianfeng, "Feng, why did you bring this woman back?" Before Mu Lianfeng could answer, Dao Du took a step forward and put on his signature smile. He looked at old Madame Mu and said softly, great-grandmother, Dowdu and mother are here to celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival with his grandmother. Great-grandmother, don't you want Dowdu and mother to come? Old Madame Mu took a look at the delicate baby. His face was not much different from Mu Lianfeng's. She liked him very much. In addition, Dowdu's smile was really irresistible. Old Madame Mu's heart melted for a moment. Her displeasure towards Xiao Yun dissipated a lot because of Dowdu. Chapter 1933. Dowdu raised his cute little face and asked, Great-grandmother, do you miss Dowdu these days? Old Madame Mu hurriedly said, Yes, of course I do. Dowdu is so obedient and cute. How can great-grandmother not miss you? Dowdu continued to smile sweetly and fawn over old Madame Mu. Dowdu misses great-grandmother too. Ha! Old Madame Mu was in a good mood. She was amused by Dowdu and smiled. She beckoned Dowdu to come to her. Dowdu, come here. Let great-grandmother take a look at you. Dowdu obediently went to old Madame Mu. Oh, I haven't seen you for a while. Dowdu has indeed grown a lot taller. You're not as thin as before. This is good, this is not good. Old Madame Mu's eyes were full of the love of an elder to a junior. She did not hide her love for Dowdu. Xiao Yun guessed that it was because of their blood relationship. Old Madame Mu did not know that Dowdu was her great-grandson, but she liked Dowdu very much. Dowdu smiled and looked at Xiao Yun. Then, he said to old Madame Mu, Great-grandmother, Dowdu can grow taller and fatter because of mother. Mother cooks delicious food for Dowdu every day. If you eat well, you will naturally grow well. Dowdu could not stop talking about Xiao Yun. Although he was a child, he knew how to make Xiao Yun have a good impression of him in front of old Madame Mu. Xiao Yun knew her precious son's little idea. She sighed in her heart that she did not raise him in vain. He was her biological son after all. Old Madame Mu glanced at Xiao Yun and her expression became better. She patted Dowdu's head and said, It's natural for your mother to take care of you. Otherwise, she would not be qualified. Great-grandmother, that's right. Mother's cooking is really delicious. It's better than ordinary people's cooking. Great-grandmother, do you want to try mother's cooking? I'm sure you'll like it too. When it came to Dowdu, old Madame Mu realized that she could not reject him at all. This child's words and smile were too contagious. It was very likable. Old Madame Mu replied with a smile, All right, then I'll have to trouble you to cook some of your best dishes for me to try. Yes, yes. Dowdu nodded heavily in response. Originally, Xiao Yun felt awkward facing old Madame Mu. Now, because of Dowdu's mediation, the atmosphere was much more harmonious. All right, let's go in. Grandma, don't stand for too long. Your legs and feet are not good. It will hurt if you stand for too long. Mu Lianfeng said considerately. Old Madame Mu nodded. She held Dowdu's hand with one hand and walked into the house with the other. Mu Lianfeng smiled gently at Xiao Yun. Then, he held Xiao Yun's hand and walked into the house. Mu Lianfeng leaned close to Xiao Yun's ear and whispered, Yun, look, Grandma likes Dowdu so much. If she knows that Dowdu is her biological grandson, she will definitely be very happy and agree to our marriage. Xiao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng was just comforting her. Old Mistress Mu had yet to speak, so everything was still unknown. They entered the house and sat at the table to eat breakfast. Old Madame Mu prepared a lot of delicious food. However, Xiao Yun did not want to eat too greasy food early in the morning, so she picked the bland food and ate a little. However, old Madame Mu found it interesting. Chapter 1934. Xiao Yun hurriedly said, No. Then why don't I see Miss Xiao eating? Isn't it not to your liking? Old Madame Mu's tone was a little unhappy. Xiao Yun's heart was very tired. She just ate a little less, and she didn't deliberately not eat. Now she was full, but in old Madame Mu's eyes, she deliberately didn't eat. Old Madam, I like to eat light food in the morning. I can't swallow big fish and meat. It's not that I didn't eat just now. I ate some light food. Xiao Yun explained. Thinking about it, it was better not to argue with an old lady. After all, she was Mu Lianfeng's grandmother. Old Madame Mu's temper was a little bad. She did not need to argue over such a small matter. However, old Madame Mu snorted softly and said, "This is the first time I heard that a villager can't swallow big fish and meat. Is Miss Xiao not a villager? Or is she different from other villagers?" Being questioned by old Madame Mu, Xiao Yun did not know how to answer. Could it be that she had to say that she was different from other villagers? In fact, no matter how she answered, old Madame Mu would not be satisfied. Because old Madame Mu was the troublemaker. She was not satisfied with her as a person and did not care about her explanation. Mu Lianfeng frowned and looked at Xiao Yun with heartache. He hurriedly said to old Madame Mu, "Grandma, Yun does like to eat light food in the morning. She has always been used to it. Moreover, although Yun is in the countryside, she usually eats a lot of fish and meat." Old Madame Mu did not believe it. How can a villager eat a lot of fish and meat? "Phone her, did you take the money for her family to spend?" "Grandma, don't make wild guesses about Yun. Everything was earned by Yun herself." Feng did not help at all. Yun'er is a very hard-working woman. She led a poor family to live a rich life, which is something that ordinary women can't do. Mu Lianfeng's tone was full of praise for Xiao Yun, but old Mistress Mu snorted softly. She did not put Xiao Yun in her eyes. Great-grandmother, mother is really amazing. Just like what father said, if great-grandmother could stay with mother for a while, she would definitely fall in love with mother. Daodu tugged at old Madame Mu's sleeve. Looking at the sensible and adorable Daodu, old Madame Mu liked him the most. She couldn't figure out how a country bumpkin like Xiao Yun could give birth to such an outstanding and adorable child. It was a pity that Daodu was only Mu Lianfeng's son. If he was really Mu Lianfeng's biological son, how great would it be? Old Madame Mu sighed, then looked at Mu Lianfeng and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Feng, our Mu family has few children. You have to work hard and strive to let grandma hold a grandson as soon as possible. Give birth to a cute child like Daodu. Grandma probably won't live for long. I hope that when I'm still alive, I can see the scene of 4 generations living under the same roof." Mu Lianfeng was silent for a while, then said, "Grandma, this time, in addition to accompanying you to celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival, I also have good news to tell you. You will be very happy after hearing it." Old Madame Mu asked curiously, "Oh. What good news does Feng want to tell me?" "Grandma, Daodu is my biological son, your biological great-grandson." Chapter 1935. Mu Lianfeng repeated himself. "Grandma, I said that Daodu is my son, your great-grandson. Daodu is the blood of our Mu family." Old Madame Mu's eyes were full of shock. She asked in disbelief, "Feng, are you sure you're not mistaken? Is Daodu really my great-grandson?" Mu Lianfeng answered with a smile. "Grandma, Feng naturally wouldn't be mistaken. After all, it's related to our Mu family's bloodline." Old Madame Mu then looked at Xiao Yun in confusion. "But isn't Daodu Miss Xiao's son? How did he become the blood of our Mu family?" The relationship between the two was a little complicated. Old Madame Mu couldn't figure it out. She was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would make a mistake when he tried to figure it out. Mu Lianfeng explained patiently, Grandma, Daodu is Yun-er's son. He's also Feng-er's son. Mu Lianfeng recounted the things that happened at the beginning. He accidentally got into Zhao Yun-er's belly. As a result, Zhao Yun-er got pregnant out of wedlock. Everyone looked down on her, and it was very difficult for her to take care of Daodu at first. After listening to Mu Lianfeng, old Madame Mu was naturally very excited. It turned out that Zhao Yun got pregnant out of wedlock and did something out of line. She thought that it was Zhao Yun-er's personal behavior that caused her to have a problem with Zhao Yun-er. This time, Zhao Yun-er made a great contribution to the Mu family by giving birth to Daodu. Thinking that the Mu family finally had a child to carry on the ancestral line, old Madame Mu couldn't calm down. She was wondering why she felt an inexplicable sense of closeness to Daodu. It turned out that he was a child of the Mu family. Matriarch Mu had no doubts about Daodu's identity. The more she looked at Daodu, the more she felt that Daodu looked very similar to Mu Lianfeng when he was young. They were completely cast from the same mold. With such similar facial features, no one would suspect that Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's biological son. She used to hope day and night that Mu Lianfeng would have an heir. She didn't expect that God had already heard her call and left a descendant for the Mu family. Old Madame Mu smiled and touched Daodu's little face with her old hands. She cherished Daodu even more. Thinking of how Daodu had suffered with Zhao Yun-er in the past few years, and how the Mu family's bloodline had wandered outside without any dignity, old Madame Mu felt even more upset. Fortunately, he could recognize his ancestors now. In the future, she would let this great-grandson enjoy himself and make up for all the pain he had suffered before. God has opened his eyes. Feng-er, this is really good news for Grandma. Old Madame Mu wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes with a handkerchief. Mu Lianfeng comforted her, Grandma, don't cry. It's a happy thing for us to have 4 generations under the same roof. Our Mu family will have other heirs in the future. Everything will get better and better. Old Madame Mu nodded in agreement. Seeing that old Madame Mu was happy, Mu Lianfeng hurriedly said to old Madame Mu, Grandma, it's all thanks to Yun that we can have heirs now. Old Madame Mu glanced at Zhao Yun-er. Although she didn't want to admit it, she knew that Zhao Yun had done a good job for the Mu family. It's her blessing to be able to give birth to our Mu family. Old Madame Mu said. Chapter 1936. Mu Lianfeng took the opportunity to say this directly. But old Madame Mu frowned and was silent for a moment. Zhao Yun-er giving birth to a son for the Mu family was one thing, but it was another to let Mu Lianfeng marry Zhao Yun-er. No matter what, the Mu family was a prestigious family, and Mu Lianfeng was the current Shitzi. If he wanted to marry a wife, he couldn't just do it casually. If he wanted to marry, he naturally had to marry a daughter of a well-matched family. A country woman like Zhao Yun-er was completely unworthy of Mu Lianfeng. So old Madame Mu said, Feng-er, you should know that marrying a wife requires a well-matched family. Miss Zhao's status is too low. She can't even be your concubine, let alone marry her. Mu Lianfeng suddenly became anxious and hurriedly said, but Grandma, Yun-er gave birth to a child for me. No matter what, I have to give Yun-er a status, right? Otherwise, Yun will only continue to suffer from rumors and slanders. How can I watch Yun-er suffer like this? Old Madame Mu was silent for a moment. She knew that Mu Lianfeng's words were not without reason. Since Zhao Yun-er gave birth to the Mu family's son, the mother's status depended on the son. No matter what, she had to give a status. But to let Mu Lianfeng marry Zhao Yun-er, she really didn't like Zhao Yun-er. How could a country woman be the master of the Shitzi mansion? If this spread out, there would be people who would laugh at the Shitzi mansion for marrying such a daughter-in-law. She was a person who cared about her face and couldn't put it down. Seeing that he couldn't persuade old Madame Mu, Mu Lianfeng could only say to old Madame Mu, "Grandma, actually, Yun and I have already been married by the emperor," and Yun was conferred the title of Imperial Madam. Mu Lianfeng said as he took out the imperial edict issued by the emperor and handed it to old Madame Mu for her to take a look. Old Madame Mu didn't expect Zhao Yun to be so capable that even the emperor personally bestowed a marriage for them. Not knowing whether it was true or not, old Madame Mu took a few more glances at the imperial edict and did not see any problems. "Feng what's going on? Why would His Majesty bestow a marriage upon you?" In fact, old Madame Mu couldn't understand why the emperor would agree to Mu Lianfeng marrying Zhao Yun, a country bumpkin. Mu Lianfeng then recounted all of Zhao Yun's contributions. Because she had helped the court with a major matter, the emperor had bestowed the title of Imperial Madam to Zhao Yun as a reward. At the same time, he had bestowed her with a marriage to Mu Lianfeng. Now that there was an imperial edict and even the emperor was involved, even if old Madame Mu wanted to object, she didn't dare to openly disobey the imperial edict. Since His Majesty has given the imperial edict, then Feng you must marry Miss Zhao. Old Madame Mu said. Mu Lianfeng's mouth hooked up a smile. He finally felt relieved in his heart. Fortunately, he got old Madame Mu's approval. However, in the next second, he couldn't smile anymore. Old Madame Mu said, "Feng His Majesty only said to let you marry Miss Zhao. He didn't say whether you would marry her as a wife or a concubine. In my opinion, it's better to let Yun be a concubine. She is originally a country bumpkin. It's her great fortune to be able to be a concubine of Shi Ziyi. It's absolutely impossible for her to be a wife." Zhao Yun's face suddenly darkened. It turned out that she still couldn't enter old Madame Mu's eyes. Be a concubine. Chapter 1937. As a normal person from the 21st century, he could not bear this kind of grievance. Mu Lianfeng's face darkened as well. He asked Madame Mu, "Grandmother, I will only marry Yun If that's the case, why is Yun only a concubine and not a wife?" Madame Mu patted the back of Mu Lianfeng's hand and said, "Feng I think you're confused. Your cousin has admired you for a long time and wants to marry into our Mu family. She has a noble status and is my biological granddaughter, so the position of the wife can only be hers." Speaking of Mu Lianfeng's cousin, she came to see Madame Mu not long ago and revealed that she was only willing to marry Mu Lianfeng in this lifetime. Madame Mu was originally very fond of this biological niece, so such a request was immediately satisfied. Madame Mu promised Murong Shuang that she would definitely let Mu Lianfeng marry her and make her the current princess consort. Since she had promised Murong Shuang, Madame Mu would definitely not let Mu Lianfeng marry Zhao Yun as the wife. However, Mu Lianfeng's face was cold as he flatly refused, "Grandmother, I'm heartless towards cousin. I will never marry her in this lifetime." Madame Mu scolded a little angrily, "Feng the parents' orders are the words of the matchmaker. Since your father has passed away, your marriage will naturally be decided by grandmother. If I let you marry Shuang then you must marry her." Mu Lianfeng angrily questioned, "Grandmother, why do you like to force your grandson to do things that he doesn't like to do? If I marry cousin, I will only harm her. To her, I only have a brotherly relationship and have no romantic feelings. How do you want me to face her?" Madame Mu stubbornly said, "Feng Shuang has feelings for you, so you must treat her well and marry her. You're rejecting everything now. Isn't it just for a little peasant woman like Zhao Yun How can this peasant woman compare to Shuang status? You and Shuang are well matched. As for Miss Zhao, she could only be a concubine. Could it be that you want Shuang to be your concubine?" Mu Lianfeng clenched his fists and suppressed the anger in his heart. He really could not understand why old Madame Mu was so stubborn. If he really wanted Zhao Yuner to be his concubine, why did he spend so much effort to get the emperor to grant the marriage? With Daodu as her own son, even without the emperor's permission, it would be easy for Zhao Yuner to become a concubine. Grandmother, Yun was betrothed by His Majesty, and His Majesty conferred her the title of Imperial Madam. If His Majesty knows that Yun is only going to be my concubine, he will definitely investigate this matter. Perhaps our Shitsi manor will also be investigated. Then let's put the wedding aside. Grandmother will ask His Majesty for instructions later. Wait until the emperor says that she must be the legal wife. Otherwise, before the emperor says anything, the position of the legal wife can only be left to Shuang. Old Madame Mu's attitude was very stiff. She did not give in at all. Zhao Yun sat quietly and did not speak. Mu Lianfeng almost exploded. If it weren't for the fact that he was afraid that arguing would affect Matriarch Mu's health and that Matriarch Mu wouldn't be able to take it, Mu Lianfeng would have argued long ago. He really did not understand why Zhao Yun could not be compared to other women except for her status. Everyone's birth was different. It was not up to them to decide. Why did they have to talk about this? Chapter 1938. Grandma, why are you doing this? Yun and I love each other. Yun even gave birth to a child for me. She has suffered so much over the years. What's the big deal about giving her the title of legal wife? This is the reason why I came back today to discuss this matter with grandmother. If grandmother doesn't agree, I won't take another wife in the future. Mu Lianfeng expressed his attitude. At this moment, in addition to anger, he also felt guilty towards Zhao Yun. After so long, he still couldn't give her a formal title. What kind of man was he? As a man, he should protect the woman he loved well. Old Madame Mu also said sullenly, "Feng, you are becoming more and more disobedient. When you were young, you could listen to grandma's words. Now you don't listen to me at all, do you?" Mu Lianfeng lowered his head. "Grandma, Feng, I can listen to you on other matters, but there is absolutely no room for discussion on this matter. If I want to marry, Feng will only marry Yun. Daodu saw the battle between Mu Lianfeng and old Madame Mu and hurriedly said to old Madame Mu, "Great-grandma, do you not like Daodu? If mother can't be the legal wife, will Daodu only be a concubine's son in the future? Will he be looked down upon?" Meeting Daodu's innocent little eyes, old Madame Mu's heart trembled. She looked at Daodu with some heartache and said to Daodu, "Silly child, how can that be? Great-grandma will let you be adopted under the legal wife's name. You will still be the legitimate son of our Shitsi mansion." Daodu, however, had a bitter expression on his face as he replied in an aggrieved manner, "But great-grandmother, Daodu wants to stay by Nyangqin's side. I don't want to be adopted by others." This. Old Madame Mu's face was full of embarrassment. On one side was her biological granddaughter, and on the other side was her biological great-grandson. She didn't want either of them to be wronged. But now, she couldn't make such a choice. Cough, cough, cough. Perhaps it was because her blood was attacking her heart. Matriarch Mu coughed violently. "Grandma, what's wrong with you?" Mu Lianfeng's heart suddenly tightened, and he hurriedly asked. Old Madame Mu used a handkerchief to wipe her mouth. Who knew that it would bleed? At the sight of blood, Mu Lianfeng frowned worriedly. It seemed that the situation was too serious. Old Madame Mu continued to cough a few more times as if she could not catch her breath. Mu Lianfeng hurriedly asked the servants to find a doctor for old Madame Mu to see what was wrong with her. As for Zhao Yuner, she was also a little worried as she watched from the side. Zhao Yuner whispered to Mu Lianfeng, "Let's not argue about our marriage for the time being. Otherwise, Grandma will continue to cough up blood and her condition will only worsen." Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yuner guiltily. He had no choice but to agree. Okay, we'll talk about it when we have the chance. Yuner. I'm sorry. Zhao Yuner smiled faintly and said, You don't have to apologize to me. You didn't do anything wrong. It was old Madame Mu who disagreed with their marriage. Mu Lianfeng had been actively fighting for it. In addition, Mu Lianfeng's words just now, at least she knew that Mu Lianfeng was sincere. Now that the situation was like this, she didn't want to give Mu Lianfeng too much pressure. In front of her and his only family, Zhao Yuner knew that it was difficult for Mu Lianfeng to make a choice. Chapter 1939. Now that she was together with Mu Lianfeng, she believed that the issue of status could be resolved. Seeing that Zhao Yuner was so considerate, Mu Lianfeng felt even more guilty. Wasn't it his fortune to be able to spend time with such a woman in this life? No matter what, he would never let her down in this life. Grandma, are you okay? Mu Lianfeng asked with concern. He stepped forward and reached out to pat old Madame Mu's back. The nanny who was waiting on the side said, Young master, old Madame's health is getting worse these days. Don't make old Madame angry. The doctor who treated old Madame before said that old Madame can't be agitated, otherwise it's easy to have this kind of situation. Mu Lianfeng's eyebrows were tightly knitted together. He was very worried about old Madame Mu. He didn't expect old Madame to become like this. Although old Madame's health was not good before, it was not to this extent. It was all because he was not in the Shitzi mansion these days and cared too little about old Madame. It's okay, it's okay. Grandma is fine. Don't worry. Old Madame Mu was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would be worried, so she grabbed Mu Lianfeng's hand and comforted him. Then she said a few words with difficulty and began to cough violently again. Mu Lianfeng was more distressed. Thinking that his marriage with Zhao Yun seemed to have to be delayed again, who knew what would happen if old Madame's mood fluctuated again. Grandma, Feng will help you back to rest. Mu Lianfeng said. Then he helped old Madame Mu into the room to rest. Zhao Yun followed behind with Daodu. Although she didn't like this stubborn old madam, she knew that even if they quarreled, they had to look for the right time. After a while, the doctor was invited back. Old Madame Mu was fine. It was just the illness she had before. Like what the nanny said, she couldn't be agitated. She just needed to take care of her body. It was normal for old people to have poor health. Sometimes, it was not something that could be cured with medicine. For the next 2 days in the Shitzi manor, Mu Lianfeng did not mention anything about marriage. Instead, it was Madame Mu who tried her best to persuade Mu Lianfeng to marry Murong Shuang. This made Mu Lianfeng extremely embarrassed. In order to let old Madame Mu calm down, Mu Lianfeng could only delay. He did not quarrel with old Madame Mu or oppose too much. Zhao Yuner was the most uncomfortable person in the past few days. Old Madame Mu's dislike of her made her feel awkward. Obviously, the Shitzi family also acted according to the person. They didn't like her, a country girl with no status and no status. Instead, they were secretly gossiping behind Zhao Yuner's back. After the Dragon Boat Festival, Zhao Yuner did not want to stay any longer. Living in a big courtyard was not as comfortable as living in the countryside. It would be fine if the people here weren't bad, but how could she live comfortably when she was the one being targeted? Yuner. It's my fault. I've wronged you. Mu Lianfeng came back at night. When he heard about Zhao Yuner's situation, he apologized to Zhao Yuner. Looking into Mu Lianfeng's eyes, even if Zhao Yuner felt wronged, she swallowed it in her heart. It's okay. This has nothing to do with you. Sigh. Mu Lianfeng sighed heavily. Yuner, blame me for being useless. I can't give you anything. Chapter 1940. I still have to give you a status as soon as possible and let everyone know that you are my wife, Mu Lianfeng's only wife. Mu Lianfeng said seriously. These are all formalities. You know that I don't care. Xiao Yun comforted him. She didn't want to put too much pressure on Mu Lianfeng. Old Madame Mu didn't agree to give her the status of legal wife. Mu Lianfeng had a much harder time mediating things than she did. On the one hand, he couldn't hurt old Madame Mu. On the other hand, he felt that he couldn't wrong her. Yun, you don't care, but as your husband, I have to give you what you deserve. Mu Lianfeng held Xiao Yun's hand and said seriously. Xiao Yun smiled and said, believe me, we will fight for what we are pursuing now. Yes. Mu Lianfeng held Xiao Yun in his arms. He didn't know what to say. He could only tell himself that he couldn't let her down. Old Madame's body was fine after a few days of recuperation. Because of Daodu's company, old Madame smiled more these days. No matter how low Xiao Yun's status was, Daodu was the legitimate descendant of Shizi Mansion. Especially when Shizi Mansion didn't have many children, Daodu was more favored in Shizi Mansion. Because of his cute appearance and Daodu's sweet mouth, everyone in Shizi Mansion didn't like Xiao Yun, but they liked Daodu very much. Young master, if you can give birth to a few more children to accompany old madam, she will be happier. Old madam's mood was much better these days with the company of little Shizi. She smiled more, and her body and complexion looked much better. This is more effective than taking any medicine. The nanny serving old Madame Mu said to Mu Lianfeng with a gratified expression. When old Madame Mu heard this, she went to Mu Lianfeng and said, Feng can work hard and give birth to a few more children for our Shizi mansion. In the past few generations of the Crown Prince's manor, they had few heirs and did not have much popularity. Feng was young now, and it was a good time to have children. I have to take this opportunity to have a few more. Mu Lianfeng pursed his lips. Giving birth to a child wasn't something that could be done just because one wanted to. Besides, giving birth to a child was the most difficult thing for a woman. Sometimes, it might even be life-threatening. Therefore, he didn't want Xiao Yun to take the risk and give birth to too many children for him. Everything was up to fate. If the child really came, she wouldn't reject it. She would give birth to it, but she definitely wouldn't deliberately give birth to it. In the end, compared to the child, he loved Xiao Yun more. The child was the product of their love. It was impossible to let Xiao Yun become a childbearing machine for him. Grandmother, it's good enough to have one child. How can we give birth to a few more? Mu Lianfeng replied weakly. Old Madame Mu said calmly, why not? When you and Shuang get married, Shuang is still young and will definitely get pregnant. Later, our Shizi mansion will take in a few more concubines. You should work hard and work hard. You will have children naturally. Grandmother. Mu Lianfeng called out in a low voice. It was bad enough that she wanted him to marry Murong Shuang, but now she wanted to help him take in a few more concubines. If it was really like this, how could he face Xiao Yun? Chapter 1941. What can I do for you, old madam? Xiao Yun asked respectfully. Since you and Feng will be together in the future, you have to think about giving birth to more children for our Mu family. Only in this way can you make up for the gap in your status. After all, it's already a great blessing for a peasant woman like you to be able to marry into our Shizi manor. If you can't even do this well, what's the use of having you come here? Xiao Yun listened to old Madame Mu's words and felt extremely uncomfortable. What the hell did she take her for? She had no value if she didn't have children. Who said so and set such a rule? If the meaning of her existence was really only to have children, then she wouldn't have married Mu Lianfeng. She would rather have no status than to let her life be controlled by others. Seeing that Zhao Yun didn't speak, old Madame Mu asked with some displeasure, "What's with your attitude? Don't you know how to respond when I'm talking to you? Country people are country people. How can a daughter of a rich family know etiquette? Feng her, do you see it now? Only a girl like Shuang is worthy of you." Mu Lianfeng's face sank. He looked at Zhao Yun with heartache and explained to old Madame Mu, "Grandma, can you not talk about high and low status? What did Yun not do well? You said that she didn't want to do it. How can she answer?" Old Madame Mu was not convinced and replied, "She didn't want to do it. She didn't want to give birth to more children for our Mu family. She doesn't understand what a woman's duty is. Isn't it to give birth to children for her husband's family?" "Feng do you mean this woman's attitude is reasonable? Grandma, why do you always target Yun? You said that Yun's status is not good. No matter what, she is the imperial madam personally conferred by the emperor. With this status, she is absolutely worthy of me. But her birth is not good. Her education since childhood is not good enough. Feng people's education is from childhood to adulthood. Even if the emperor conferred her the title of imperial madam, so what? Can her education be improved all of a sudden?" "Grandma, ouch, I have a headache." Seeing that Mu Lianfeng still wanted to argue, old Madame Mu quickly rubbed her forehead and shouted. Mu Lianfeng had no choice but to shut up. Zhao Yun looked at the old lady who couldn't do it and said coldly, "Old madam, I'm not feeling well. I want to go back and rest. Please forgive me if I'm not considerate." With that, Zhao Yun returned and left old Madame Mu's courtyard. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Yun's back as she left. He knew that Zhao Yun must be angry now. It was normal for a woman to feel uncomfortable after being put in such a difficult position. But old Madame Mu pointed at Zhao Yun with dissatisfaction, "Feng, you see, that woman is not worthy of you, not worthy of marrying into our Shitzi Fu. Grandma, no matter if she is worthy or not, the only person I like in my heart is Yun. You are bewitched by her. I don't know what kind of bewitching potion she gave you. You treasure a country woman like this." Shuang brought a letter back. "She will come to visit me in 2 days. At that time, you two brother and sister should have a good relationship. Try to accept Shuang. You will find that Shuang is much better than that country woman." Chapter 1942. "Yes, what's wrong?" Old Madame Mu raised her eyebrows and asked. Mu Lianfeng thought of his cousin's arrogant and domineering personality. If she came back, she would definitely pester him. Most importantly, she did not get along with Zhao Yun. When the time came, who knew what would happen? Therefore, he did not want to meet Murong Shuang, nor did he want Zhao Yun to meet Murong Shuang. "Grandmother, I was planning to go back tomorrow, so when cousin comes, I might not be in the residence." Mu Lianfeng replied awkwardly. Old Madame Mu could not help but ask, "You're in such a hurry to leave?" Mu Lianfeng nodded and said, "Yes, there's no other way. Grandmother, you also know that the emperor's orders can't be delayed. If anything goes wrong and the emperor blames us, our entire residence might suffer a calamity." Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, old Madame Mu frowned. Mu Lianfeng purposely made the situation sound more serious, so that old Madame Mu did not dare to let Mu Lianfeng not go back. After all, they were working for the emperor. If they did not do a good job and the emperor blames them, no one could bear the consequences. Mu Lianfeng was different from before. Now, he had learned how to lie. Moreover, when he lied, his face did not turn red and his heart did not skip a beat. It seems that we can't not go back. Sigh, but it's not easy for to come back. Grandmother, you just have to treat her well. Didn't she come to see you this time? Mu Lianfeng replied indifferently. Old Madame Mu sighed and said, although that girl said she came to see me, she actually came to see you. She has an ulterior motive. Grandmother, there's no other way. I have to go back. Now, I have to put the nation's affairs first and do good things for the emperor. Old Madame Mu could only say, okay. You're right. You're still young. Our residence receives a salary from the imperial court and should do good things for the imperial court. Since that's the case, you should go back tomorrow. If you have time, come back to see Grandma more often, okay? Mu Lianfeng nodded heavily and said, I know, Grandma. Don't worry, grandson will definitely come back to see you when he has time. That's good. Old Madame Mu held Mu Lianfeng's hand and said reluctantly. However, Mu Lianfeng wanted to come back, but at the same time, he didn't want to come back. The reason he didn't want to come back was because he was afraid that Zhao Yun would be wronged again. However, if he did not come back, he would have to abandon old Madame Mu. Old Madame Mu was already so old and her health was not good. As her grandson, he actually could not be filial to her. He felt very guilty. After weighing the pros and cons, Mu Lianfeng realized that he cared more about Zhao Yun. Even if she could not accompany old Madame Mu, she would never let Zhao Yun be wronged. Although it was a little selfish, there was nothing he could do about it. By the way, it's okay if you and Miss Zhao go back. But can you let Dao stay in the residence and follow behind Grandma? This. Mu Lianfeng's face was full of embarrassment. He knew that Zhao Yun and Dao's deep mother-son relationship was inseparable. Old Madame Mu hurriedly said, you know that Grandma usually stays in the residence alone. If you leave, I want to have a companion. Grandma likes Dao very much. Let him stay by Grandma's side. He can also tease me. There will be something happy in my life. Chapter 1943. But grandmother, Dao is used to living in the countryside. He's used to being with me and Yun. I'm afraid that he won't be used to it if Yun and I leave him alone in the residence. Old Madame Mu hurriedly replied, how can he not be used to it? How can the conditions in our residence be worse than those in the countryside? Dao can eat, drink, and sleep well in the residence. He doesn't want to live a good life. Is he prepared to live a hard life? Grandmother. Although the conditions in the residence are better, the child is still young. He wants to stay by his parents' side. Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but persuade her. I see. Old Madame Mu murmured. Finally, she said, why don't we let Miss Zhao stay in the residence? If she stays by Dao's side, Dao won't feel uncomfortable, right? Mu Lianfeng left this time because he didn't want Zhao Yun to feel awkward staying in the residence. If Zhao Yun stayed, what was the point? If he wasn't in the residence and Zhao Yun was there, Murong Shuang might come over and treat Zhao Yun unruly. In order to protect Zhao Yun from being wronged, he couldn't let Zhao Yun stay in the residence alone. Grandmother, Yun is used to living in the countryside. She doesn't feel comfortable living in the residence. Her parents are also in the countryside, so she wants to go back with me. Old Madame Mu immediately said unhappily, aren't you giving in to her too much? She's not used to living in the residence now. If she marries here in the future, won't she still live here? If she's not used to it, she can slowly get used to it. Unless she never enters the residence again. Mu Lianfeng sighed. Great, he was tossed back into the residence again. Seeing that old Madame Mu was about to get angry, Mu Lianfeng gently persuaded, Grandmother, Yun hasn't married yet. If she stays in the residence for a long time before she marries, it'll be hard to avoid gossip. Wait until Yun marries here. This, Grandma, it's decided then. I know you like Daodu. When I have time, I'll bring Daodu over to visit you. As Mu Lianfeng spoke, he stood up to leave. He was afraid that old Madame Mu would say something. Grandma, rest well. I won't disturb you any longer. Feng No matter how old Madame Mu called out to him, Mu Lianfeng did not stop walking. Old Madame Mu clutched her chest in pain. The nanny next to her hurriedly asked, Old Madam, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Old Mistress Mu said, Hey, look at this grandson of mine. Why did he take my only great-grandson with him when he left? Daodu is the crown prince of the crown prince's household, how can he be left to suffer outside? The nanny comforted her, Old Madam, your health is not good. Please don't be sad. I can't bear to part with Daodu, but Feng insists on taking him away. Old Madam, the crown prince has indeed gone overboard. But you can't be angry or sad because of this. Your health is more important. After all, the crown prince is the crown prince's biological son. When the crown prince is done with the matters of the imperial court, won't he naturally bring the crown prince back to live here? Old Madame Mu said with a worried face, I don't know how long the matters of the imperial court will take, but I'm afraid I won't live for long. How can that be? Old Madam, don't talk nonsense. You still have to live a long life. You will definitely be able to watch the crown prince grow up. Chapter 1944. The nanny hurriedly said, Old Madam, don't let your imagination run wild. It's normal for old people to have poor health, but you can still live a long life. Trust me. I want to, but it's up to the heavens. I hope that Feng can complete the task entrusted to him by the imperial court as soon as possible. This old woman can also be together with them as soon as possible and enjoy the rest of my life. Old Madam, he definitely will. In the future, Lord Shitzi will definitely have a few more children and make our Shitzi estate lively. Yes, I can only hope so. The next day, Xiao Yun and Mu Lianfeng packed their luggage and returned to Shui Lan village. If they continued to stay, Xiao Yun felt that she wouldn't be able to hold on any longer. Now that she heard that they were going back, she heaved a sigh of relief. Even if Mu Lianfeng protected her, there was no way to change the current situation. It was good that the two of them escaped. The only pity was that the wedding had to be delayed again. She didn't know when her wedding with Mu Lianfeng would be held. Xiao Yun would rather wait than embarrass herself in terms of formality. Either she didn't want this formality, or she couldn't embarrass herself too much. Soon, the three of them returned to Shui Lan village. On the way, Daodu was also very excited. Although they could eat a lot of pastries and other delicious food that couldn't be found in the countryside in the Shitzi estate, they only ate a little more. It was really boring to be alone in the Shitzi estate. It was better to have many playmates in the countryside. Mother, great-grandmother prepared a lot of Daodu's favorite osmanthus pastry and mung bean cake for Daodu. Daodu wants to go back and give it to little uncle, San and big sister Hua, Daodu's little face was full of smiles as he smiled at Xiao Yun, Xiao Yun patted Daodu's head and replied, Daodu, good job. Good things should be shared with your friends. Yes. It's too boring to eat alone. It's better to eat with everyone. Daodu smiled sweetly. The smile on his face could melt anyone's heart. Xiao Yun's face was filled with gratification. It was rare to see such a sensible child at such a young age. Children's education was very important. Children who were taught well would naturally understand more. Daodu's happy face suddenly darkened. Xiao Yun asked curiously, why are you unhappy all of a sudden? Mother, Daodu is thinking that little sister Tian Tian is too young. He brought so many mung bean cakes and osmanthus cookies, but little sister Tian Tian can't eat them. Zhao Yun was amused by Daodu's words. She was wondering what Daodu was thinking. So this was what he was thinking. It's fine. Little sister Tian Tian will be able to eat it when she's older. Can't Daodu bring some to her in the future? Mother, how long will it take for little sister Tian Tian to grow up? If she wants to have teeth like Daodu and be able to eat these things, it'll take at least a year. Daodu counted with his fingers. He was only 3 years old. If Tian Tian had to wait until she was a year old, it would be a long time. Daodu sighed heavily. Little sister Tian Tian is so pitiful. It'll take a long time before she can eat them. Although little sister Tian Tian can't eat them, she'll definitely know that Daodu cares about her. She'll be very touched. Zhao Yun patted Daodu's head and comforted him. Mother, is that true? Of course. Chapter 1945. Zhao Yun had a gratified smile on her face, and Daodu really dotes on his little sister. He was such a considerate man at such a young age. It was a blessing to be his little sister. If they were in the 21st century, many girls would be envious of having such a brother. Of course, Daodu only has one little sister, Tian Tian. Who else would he dote on if not Tian Tian? Daodu's little face lit up with a beautiful smile. Zhao Yun asked curiously, then if mother gives birth to a little sister for Daodu, will Daodu dote on her? Daodu answered without hesitation, of course. He'll dote on her just like how he dotes on little sister Tian Tian. Then what if mother gives birth to a little brother for Daodu? Daodu was silent for a moment after being asked by Zhao Yun. Seeing Daodu's tightly knitted brows, Zhao Yun was amused by Daodu. When it came to a little sister, he could answer without hesitation, but when it came to a little brother, he became like this. It seemed that older brothers were indeed nicer to their little sisters. What's wrong? Does Daodu not like little brothers? Daodu shook his head. No, I just think that if mother gave birth to a little brother, he wouldn't be as cute as a little sister. He's a man, he can protect himself and take care of himself in the future. Why would he need Daodu to dote on him? Daodu said in a soft voice. After he finished speaking, he asked Zhao Yun, Mother, don't you think so? Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng looked at each other. Both of them couldn't hide the smile on their faces. Children's words were so pure. Zhao Yun secretly prayed that she would give birth to a girl. If she gave birth to a boy, it would definitely be better than a girl. A little brother is still young and doesn't know how to protect himself. If mother gives birth to a little brother for Daodu, Daodu should also take good care of his little brother, understand? Mu Lianfeng patted Daodu's head and lectured him. If that's the case, then Daodu will also dote on his little brother in the future. Daodu said thoughtfully. Good. It didn't take long for them to arrive at the village. Zhao Yun's courtyard. After staying at the heir's residence for a few days, she felt more and more comfortable at home. In the courtyard of Zhao Yun's house sat several sisters-in-law of the Zhao family. The women liked to chat together after they were done with their work. Zhao Yun's new house was big, so they liked to come over and play together. Seeing that Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng had returned, Liang Jinqiao hurried forward and said, Yun, you've only stayed for a few days. Why are you back so soon? Mother, do you not welcome me back? Zhao Yun pretended to be angry and asked. Liang Jinqiao explained, how could that be? I thought you were going to stay for a while this time. I didn't expect that you would only stay for a few days. Zhao Yun naturally wouldn't tell Liang Jinqiao the reason why she came back. She was afraid that she would be worried. Daodu's father came back because he has something to do. No wonder. Important matters are more important. Go in and rest. Mother and your father will take care of the things in the carriage. Liang Jinqiao said, as if she was afraid that Zhao Yun would be tired. It's okay, mother. I'm not tired. We'll carry it ourselves. Mu Lianfeng also said, Auntie, some things are heavier. Let me do it. Liang Jinqiao didn't refuse. Okay, let's do it together. Zhao Yun's aunts and aunts also came forward to help. Chapter 1946. Please refresh the previous picture if you don't think it's the right one. Feng Zhangxiu listened to the things in Zhao Yun's car, which were piled up like a mountain. She could tell that these things were expensive at a glance. Shitzi was the best. He was from a wealthy family. There were so many good things at home. Little girl Yun, you've brought back a lot of good things this time. What are they? Why don't you tell us about it? Feng Zhangxiu asked in a flattering tone. Zhao Yun said faintly, nothing. Eldest aunt, you won't know even if I tell you. After all, you haven't seen them before. They are all things that we country people can't afford. Zhao Yun knew that Feng Zhangxiu liked to take advantage of small things. How could she be willing to tell Feng Zhangxiu these good things? Feng Zhangxiu pursed her lips and said, Yun, if you don't tell us, we won't know what they are. Why don't you introduce them to us? Zhao Yun snorted softly, eldest aunt, look at what you said. There are so many things in the car. How can I introduce them to you one by one? Liang Jinqiao was a little embarrassed and said to Feng Zhangxiu, sister-in-law, they are all moving into the house now. Yun doesn't have so much time to introduce them slowly. Feng Zhangxiu was not a fool. How could she not know that this was an excuse? Staring at the things in the car, Feng Zhangxiu said with a little jealousy, I can't help it. I'm not as lucky as you, third sister-in-law. You have such a capable daughter like Yun. We country people are not qualified to know these good things. Liang Jinqiao smiled embarrassedly and did not know how to respond. Zhao Yun replied indifferently, eldest aunt, what are you talking about? When eldest cousin passes the provincial examination and becomes an official, there will be many good things for eldest aunt to recognize in the future. Liang Jinqiao hurriedly responded, yes, Yun is right. Sister-in-law, when Tianlong's child passes the provincial examination and becomes an official, you will also have these good things. After hearing Zhao Yun and Liang Jinqiao's words, Feng Zhangxiu's mood improved a lot. Thinking about it, it was reasonable. Tianlong was so good at studying. It was very reasonable for him to pass the provincial examination. When Tianlong became an official, she would be an official's wife. Right now, the third branch was just one step ahead of the first branch, so there was nothing to be jealous of. Feng Zhangxiu raised her chin, Yun and third sister-in-law are right. I hope that Tianlong can pass the provincial examination as soon as possible so that our old Zhao family can bring glory to our family. After all, Tianlong will definitely be the first person in our old Zhao family to pass the provincial examination. Sister-in-law, you can rest assured. Tianlong is very smart. This time, he will definitely pass the provincial examination. Liang Jinqiao did not know where he learned to flatter, but he said it to Feng Zhangxiu. That's right. Tianlong is God's favored son. There is no other person like him in the whole Shuilan village. It's not that there is no other person like him in Shuinan village. There is no other person like him in the whole town. Yes, it is difficult to find him in the whole town. After a round of flattery, the things in the carriage had been moved into the house. Feng Zhangxiu wanted the things that Zhao Yun brought back, but she was too embarrassed to ask. She could only wait for the other sisters-in-law to speak. She thought that the other sisters-in-law were the same as her. Qian Zhuzhao and Li Chuiying did not mention a word. This made Feng Zhangxia very anxious. Chapter 1947. Zhao Tianyu was pulling weeds behind the house, having a lot of fun alone. Feng Zhangxia walked up to Zhao Tianyu and called out to him. Zhao Tianyu looked up at Feng Zhangxia unhappily and said, "Aunt, you're blocking me. What are you doing?" Facing Zhao Tianyu's impolite behavior, Feng Zhangxia was not angry. Instead, she smiled and said, "Tianyu, do you want to eat something delicious?" Zhao Tianyu paused and replied proudly, "Aren't you talking nonsense? Of course I want to eat." Feng Zhangxia smiled and said, "You want to eat something good? Let me tell you, your sister Yuner brought back a lot of delicious food." Zhao Tianyu's eyes turned. He wanted to eat, but he knew that it was not easy to get food from Zhao Yuner. So he replied unhappily, "What does it have to do with me that she brought it back? Anyway, she won't give it to me." "Well, you can still eat it." Zhao Tianyu continued to pull weeds, as if he had no interest. Feng Zhangxia did not continue to argue and said directly, "Tianyu, you can ask your mother for it. Ask your mother to talk to your third aunt. They will definitely give it to you." "Auntie, is that true?" Zhao Tianyu asked in disbelief. Feng Zhangxia nodded quickly and said, "Of course it's true. How can I lie to you about this?" Zhao Tianyu got up and said, "Well, I'll go talk to my mother." Feng Zhangxia hurriedly reminded him, "Tianyu, eldest aunt is thinking about you. She wants you to cook something delicious. Don't tell her that it's eldest aunt who told you this." I know. Zhao Tianyu answered impatiently and hurried to the front of the yard. Feng Zhangxia continued to dawdle for a while and pretended to go to the toilet. Then she slowly went to the front yard. Zhao Tianyu came up to Li Chuiying and waved her hand. "Mother, I want to eat delicious food, I want to eat delicious food." Li Chuiying looked at Zhao Tianyu. Li Chuiying frowned. "What nonsense are you talking about? Where can I get you something delicious to eat?" Zhao Tianyu pointed at the things that Zhao Yun had brought back into the house and said, "Mother, Sister Yun brought back so much delicious food. I want to eat it too." Li Chuiying looked embarrassed. What Zhao Yuner brought back was brought back by Zhao Yuner. It had nothing to do with her family. Could it be that she was going to ask Zhao Yuner for it? "Good boy, Tianyu. Don't make a fuss. Those are Sister Yuner's food. What do you want to eat? I'll buy it in Yang City when I have time." Zhao Tianyu pursed his lips and said stubbornly, "Mother, you've said this so many times. You still haven't bought anything delicious for me. I don't care. I want it. I want it." Zhao Tianyu said as he sat on the ground without caring about anything else. He opened his legs wide and looked like he was acting shamelessly. Li Chuiying looked at him helplessly and hurriedly tugged at Zhao Tianyu. "Child, what are you doing? Get up quickly." "Mother, I want to eat delicious food. If I can't eat delicious food, I won't get up." Seeing that Zhao Tianyu was being disobedient, Li Chuiying was so angry that her chest heaved up and down. She urged him, "Get up, get up. If you don't get up, Mother will be angry." "No, I won't. I want to eat good food. Otherwise, I won't get up." Chapter 1948. Are you going to get up or not? If you don't get up, I'm going to beat you with a stick. Zhao Tianyu was not afraid of Li Chuiying's threat at all. He showed his trump card and sat on the ground, crying, "Mother, you're so mean. You won't give me good food to eat. I won't like you anymore." Li Chuiying sighed heavily when she saw Zhao Tianyu crying. She wondered why she had given birth to such a son who liked to make a fuss in front of her. Zhao Tianyu's spoiled and willful temperament had something to do with her. If she had not spoiled Zhao Tianyu too much, Zhao Tianyu would not have become like this. She could not continue to spoil him. Otherwise, who knew what Zhao Tianyu would become in the future? Just as Li Chuiying was about to teach Zhao Tianyu a lesson with the stick, Liang Jinqiao hurriedly stopped her. Second sister-in-law, forget it. The child needs some food. Don't hit him. Third sister-in-law, don't stop me. Where do you think I'm going to get food for him? I'll ask Yun to get some for you. Tianyu is still young. He only eats a little. He hasn't done anything bad. As Liang Jinqiao spoke, he walked in front of Zhao Yun and discussed with Zhao Yun. Among the things they brought back, Zhao Yun had prepared a box of pastries for the second branch of the family. Now, she simply gave it to Li Chuiying. She took out a box of pastries and handed it to Li Chuiying. Second auntie, here, these are for your family. Have you tried the pastries from Yang City? They taste very good. Li Chuiying saw the exquisite pastries and was too embarrassed to accept them. They were obviously very valuable. She could accept ordinary things, but she was too ashamed to accept such valuable things. Yuner, you're too polite. You should keep the good stuff for yourself. Why did you make it for me? Second sister-in-law, don't be so polite. Yun asked you to take it, so just take it. Liang Jinqiao stuffed the cake into Li Chuiying's hand. This. Li Chuiying still wanted to refuse, but Zhao Tianyu immediately rushed to Li Chuiying's side and snatched the pastries from Li Chuiying's hands. He grabbed one and stuffed it into his mouth. By the time Li Chuiying reacted, Zhao Tianyu had already eaten one and was about to grab a second one. You child. Li Chuiying looked at Zhao Tianyu helplessly. At this moment, she couldn't return it to Zhao Yun, even if she wanted to. Liang Jinqiao patted Li Chuiying's shoulder and said, okay. The child ate it. Don't argue with the child. Li Chuiying replied apologetically, third sister-in-law, you and Yuner have spent so much money. Second sister-in-law, what are you saying? We're family. Why are you being so polite? Feng Zhangxia saw that she had succeeded in her goal and hurriedly chimed in, that's right, second sister-in-law. You and third sister-in-law are too polite. We're sisters-in-law, not others. We're family. Why are you being so polite? Yuner gave it to you, so just accept it. She's filial to you. Our old Zhao family is blessed to have such a filial daughter like Yuner. The reason why she flattered Zhao Yuner was that she wanted Zhao Yuner to take out the first branch's share. Li Chuiying smiled and didn't say anything. His heart still ached for the box of pastries Zhao Yuner gave him. Chapter 1949. Could it be that Zhao Yun was not going to give it to them? How could that be? Why did she give it to the second branch but not the first branch? They were all relatives, so they should be treated fairly, right? Zhao Yun did not speak up, but when she did, she felt embarrassed. Feng Zhangxia felt a little uncomfortable sitting there, and her heart was burning with anxiety. In the end, she could not take it anymore and said to Zhao Yun, what are the pastries you brought back? How does it taste? We have never eaten them before. When she said this, she meant that she wanted Zhao Yun to give her some to try. Liang Jinqiao had no choice but to say, Yun can you give a box to your eldest aunt and fourth aunt too? Zhao Yun agreed, but she was not too willing to give the pastries to Feng Zhangxia. Zhao Yun casually picked 2 boxes of the same kind and gave 1 box to each branch. Fortunately, she brought back a lot of pastries this time and reserved some for Mulan, so it was enough for the whole family. After receiving the pastries, Feng Zhangxue smiled contentedly and thanked Zhao Yun. However, she could only bear to eat one piece of the entire box of pastries. She would bring the rest back for Zhao Wenshi, her daughter-in-law, and her grandson. As for Qian Zurio, she only ate one piece and handed one to Li Chuiying. The second branch's box of pastries was all taken by Zhao Tianyu, so Li Chuiying could not eat a single piece. After tasting the pastries, Feng Zhangxue sighed, no wonder everyone wants to live a rich life. The food and drinks here are indeed different from ordinary food, and the taste is really good. How good would it be if we could eat them every day? Qian Zurio joked, sister-in-law, wait until Tianlong becomes a high scholar. When he becomes an official, your wish will be fulfilled and you will be able to eat them every day. Feng Zhangxue smiled from ear to ear, if that's really the case, then I will definitely bring more back for all of you to eat. The few sisters-in-law were chatting happily, and the topic slowly shifted to Zhao Xinhui. Feng Zhangxue said mysteriously to her other sisters-in-law, there's something I don't know if you've heard. Qian Zhozhe asked curiously, what is it? Feng Zhangxue said, yesterday, I was chatting with Sister Lu in the village. I heard something about our little sister. What's wrong with our little sister? Several sisters-in-law started gossiping. I don't know if it's true or not. Big Sister Lu also received this news from Sun City. She heard that after her little sister married into the Huang Manor, she was dishonest and had an affair with the Huang Manor servants. She was caught by young Master Huang. Young Master Huang directly taught his little sister a lesson and threw her out of the Huang residence. It could be said that he had divorced his little sister. Didn't his little sister go to Yang City that day? You're back, and aren't you injured? The sisters-in-law thought about it, and it seemed that it was true that day. It can't be, right? Liang Jinchao asked with a frown. Doesn't young Master Huang treat my little sister well? Would his little sister be so foolish as to have an affair with a servant? Would she do something so indecent? Feng Zhangxue said in a sharp voice, that's not necessarily true. Third sister-in-law, you don't understand my little sister. My little sister is usually spoiled by our mother and is immature. It's not impossible for her to do something like that. Perhaps young Master Huang is rich but not good in that aspect. She couldn't bear the loneliness and had an affair with a servant. Chapter 1950. Liang Jinchao recalled the rumors about Zhao Yun'er in the village. He knew that many people like to make things up, so he said, that's not necessarily true. You can't speak without evidence. Feng Zhangxue suddenly said, how can there be no evidence? What those people said is not impossible. Think about it, how long has Xiaomei stayed at home? If nothing happened, why didn't young Master Huang take her back? Why did he leave her alone in the countryside to suffer? I noticed that mother's mood was not very good these days. It seems that something really happened. After listening to Feng Zhangxue's words, the sisters-in-law fell into silence. After a while, Qian Zhozhe said, if that's really the case, what should we do? Xiaomei can't always stay at old Zhao's house, right? Isn't that so? Xiaomei will definitely be laughed at home, and we will be laughed at too. Xiaomei married so grandly before, I'm afraid that she will only become the joke of Shui Lan village in the future. Then it's better for Xiaomei to marry off. Yes, it's a good thing for us if Xiaomei marries off. At home, mother always has some conflicts with us because of Xiaomei. With Xiaomei's qualifications, after being divorced by young Master Huang, it will be difficult for her to remarry, right? Those with good qualifications won't like Xiaomei, and those with bad qualifications are afraid that Xiaomei and mother won't like them. Speaking of this, Feng Zhangxue's interest was piqued. She quickly said, don't you know? Qin Yuan seems to like Xiaomei very much, and Xiaomei is also a little interested in him. Recently, Qin Yuan has been visiting Xiaomei from time to time. Who knows when the two of them will get together? Feng Zhangxia blurted out without thinking. She did not notice that she was in front of Liang Jinqiao, and Qin Yuan was Liang Jinqiao's son-in-law and Zhao Ping'er's husband. Qian Zhozhi quickly poked Feng Zhangxia's arm and winked at her. Only then did Feng Zhangxia react. That. Third sister-in-law, I just said it casually. Don't take it to heart. A look of worry appeared on Liang Jinqiao's face. Sister-in-law, is what you said true? Qin Yuan even went to visit little sister recently. This. Feng Zhangxia hesitated for a moment, not knowing how to answer. Sister-in-law, just tell me the truth. There's no need to hide it. I just want to know. Feng Zhangxia then responded, Third sister-in-law, your son-in-law is really not an honest person. You say, the two of them are one generation apart. What is the meaning of getting together? I'm just afraid that little sister will go back and look for that kid Qin Yuan to take over. Ping will have to suffer. Liang Jinqiao sighed, looking a little anxious. Feng Zhangxia regretted her words and hurriedly persuaded her, Third sister-in-law, I'm just saying it casually. It's not necessarily true. Qian Zhozhi also hurriedly comforted her, Third sister-in-law, don't think too much. There shouldn't be anything between the two of them. Qin Yuan wouldn't do such a foolish thing. If they really get together, mother will definitely not agree. After all, it's incest. If people find out, won't they laugh at our old Zhao family? Yes, yes, yes. It's impossible for them to be together. Feng Zhangxia agreed. Unexpectedly, Liang Jinqiao said, It's none of my business whether they get together or not. No matter how much Ping suffers, I won't care. You have to be responsible for the man you chose. Who can you blame if you can't watch over him? Chapter 1951. This time, even if Xiao Xinhui and Qin Yuan did something, she wouldn't ask about it. After all, it was Zhao Ping's own choice, so she should bear the consequences herself. Feng Zhangxia and Qian Hongzhao both smiled and didn't know how to respond. They didn't know if Liang Jinqiao said this to comfort himself or if Liang Jinqiao really thought this way. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. Third sister-in-law, it's getting late, so we'll go back first. We still have to make lunch when we get back. Feng Zhangxia stood up and said goodbye. Okay, then you can go back. Be careful on the road. The sisters-in-law stood up and left Zhao Yun's courtyard one after another. Feng Zhangxia was in a good mood because she received pastries from Zhao Yun, so she was very happy along the way. When the sisters-in-law arrived at old Zhao's house, they found that Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan had come over again. This time, Qin Yuan brought things over as usual. They were all good things to nourish Zhao Xinhui's body. Seeing this, Feng Zhangxia muttered, Look, Ping's man is here again. Now he's becoming more and more open. If others see this, it won't be good. Do you want to remind mother? Let mother tell her not to let Ping's man continue to come here. If he comes here too many times, it will be hard to avoid being discovered by the villagers. When that time comes, it will be a bit embarrassing. Qian Zhozhi sighed and suggested. Li Chuiying frowned and said, I don't think mother will listen. Qin Yuan brings good things every time he comes over, and mother is a greedy person. She definitely won't chase him away. Feng Zhangxia agreed, Second sister-in-law, you're right. Mother is indeed that kind of person. If she has good things, she won't chase people away. Qian Hongzhao was still worried and said, whether or not she will is one thing, and whether or not we remind her is another. I'm afraid that if something goes wrong, our whole old Zhao family will be laughed at together. Eldest sister-in-law, Sky Dragon will be taking the imperial examination soon. If he really becomes an official, his family can't have any black marks. If Er's man got together with his little sister, it would be incest. If this matter is known by others, even if Sky Dragon becomes a high-ranking official, he will definitely be laughed at in the officialdom. Feng Zhangxia originally didn't care about the matter, but now that she heard Qian State spouting nonsense, she immediately became anxious. After all, what Qian Zhozhe said was not without reason. If Xiao Tianlong really passed the high scholar examination and became an official, the incest incident in his family would affect him. Even if she didn't want to get involved, she had no choice but to do so. Feng Zhangxia said, "Fourth sister-in-law, you're right. It's necessary to remind mother about this matter. Don't let our old Zhao family become a joke of incest." "Yes, eldest sister-in-law, why don't you go and tell her about this matter?" Qian Hongzhao said. The reason why Qian Hongzhao didn't go by herself was that she was careful. After all, she didn't know Hua Chunhua's attitude. If she said something bad and made Hua Chunhua angry, it would be a thankless task. If she let Feng Zhangxia go, even if Hua Chunhua was angry, she would be scolding Feng Zhangxia and not her. After living for so long, although she was usually enthusiastic about helping others, she wasn't stupid enough to rush to the front of everything. The most important thing as a person was to not let oneself suffer too much. It was a good thing to be more careful in old Zhao family. Chapter 1952. Qian Hongzhao nodded, "That's right, sister-in-law. We don't have anything to do with it, but it's your family's Tianlong." Seeing that Feng Zhangxia didn't want to go, Qian Hongzhao purposely said this so that Feng Zhangxia wouldn't be able to push the blame onto someone else. Feng Zhangxia still looked unwilling, but when she thought about the consequences if Zhao Tianlong became an official, she could only grit her teeth and say, "All right, I'll go tell mother." Sigh. Feng Zhangxia was secretly worried that Hua Chunhua would scold her, but there was no room for retreat. Feng Zhangxia slowly walked over to Hua Chunhua. "Mother, I have something to tell you." Hua Chunhua raised her eyebrows and replied, "If you have something to say, just say it." Feng Zhangxia smiled sheepishly, "Mother, it's about little sister and Qin Yuan's child." Hua Chunhua frowned, "What's up with the two of them?" "Mother, that kid Qin Yuan always comes to old Zhao's house to visit little sister. It's not very good, right?" "What's not good about it?" "Every time he comes, he brings something with him. Look, this time he brought longans back from Yang City. It's very nourishing when stewed with brown sugar." Hua Chunhua said as she waved the longans in her hand, looking very satisfied. "No. Mother, bringing things is one thing, but it's not good for him to come. There's been some gossip in the village, saying that our little sister and Er's man are having an affair. Many people are secretly laughing at us. Also, about little sister, the villagers say that little sister was chased away by young Master Huang and can't return to the Huang estate anymore." Feng Zhangxia said weakly as she anxiously observed Hua Chunhua's expression, afraid that Hua Chunhua would scold her. As expected, Hua Chunhua's expression darkened when she heard Feng Zhangxia's words. She didn't expect that news of young Master Huang chasing away Zhao Xinhui would spread to the village. It was true that paper couldn't wrap fire. Some things would be exposed one day. And this matter was very embarrassing. Originally, it was fine if the villagers didn't know about it, but obviously, everyone knew about it. Hua Chunhua only felt a burning pain on her face. Hua Chunhua's lips trembled. "What? Are these rumors spreading from the village?" Hua Chunhua answered with a guilty conscience. What she said was the truth, and the first part was made up by herself. She wanted Hua Chunhua to pay attention to it and not let Qin Yuan come to old Zhao's house again. Hua Chunhua was silent for a moment. How dare those lowly bastards say such things? How infuriating. Mother, gossip is a fearful thing. We don't know if little sister's story is true or not. They're just hearsay. When the time comes, we can just deny it. But there's evidence that Immerse man is having an affair with little sister. Qin Yuan comes to old Zhao's house all the time. The villagers aren't blind or stupid. Naturally, they can see the clues. Feng Zhangxia rolled her eyes as she continued speaking. Hu Chunhua pursed her lips. What's wrong with that? Immerse man is your little sister's junior. Since little sister is injured, he came to visit her and bought some things to show his filial piety. What's there to say about that? Hu Chunhua didn't seem to have any intention of chasing away Qin Yuan's man. She was probably thinking about the little things that Qin Yuan had given her. Feng Zhangxia immediately panicked. She silently cursed Hu Chunhua for being so greedy. She didn't realize the severity of the consequences. Wasn't she afraid of delaying her eldest grandson? Chapter 1953. Hu Chunhua's face twitched. She knew that Feng Zhangxia's words made sense. The villagers were not stupid. How could they not see the clues? Even if Qin Yuan really came here to be filial, those gossipy old women loved to stir up trouble. They would gossip about things and hope that others would make a fool of themselves. Now that the news of incest had spread, how could old Zhao's family face the villagers in the future? Seeing Hu Chunhua frowning and thinking, Feng Zhangxia said, Mother, I think we should ask Qin Yuan not to come here again. If he doesn't come, the rumors will slowly die down. Otherwise, it will damage our little sister's reputation. Old Zhao's family will also be too ashamed to walk around the village. Hu Chunhua thought about it and felt that Qin Yuan shouldn't come here again. Okay, I'll go talk to him. Okay. Feng Zhangxia finally convinced Hu Chunhua. She heaved a sigh of relief. Hu Chunhua ran into the room to talk to Qin Yuan. Zhao Ping sat alone in the courtyard while Qin Yuan went to Zhao Xinhui's room. Although she wanted to go with him, Qin Yuan wouldn't let her. Zhao Ping was afraid that Qin Yuan would be angry, so she could only stay in old Zhao's courtyard obediently. Qin Yuan had been here for a while. Every time Zhao Xinhui was here, he would ask about Zhao Xinhui's well-being. At that time, Zhao Xinhui's body and mind were very weak. As a result, Qin Yuan quickly walked into Zhao Xinhui's heart. Qin Yuan was good-looking and very considerate to Zhao Xinhui. Most importantly, he was obedient. Zhao Xinhui compared Qin Yuan with young Master Huang. She felt that Qin Yuan was no worse than young Master Huang except for the fact that he didn't have money. Money could be slowly made up for. Now, even if the family was poor, they were not as poor as before. Because he sold the pig offal, he slowly began to accumulate some money. While chatting with Qin Yuan, Zhao Xinhui came up with an idea, which was to let Qin Yuan open a restaurant. He could earn so much money by selling pig offal every day. If he opened a restaurant and sold other dishes every day, he could earn even more money. The pig offal could be used as the restaurant's signature dish to attract business. As long as they hired a good chef, they wouldn't have to worry about not having business for a long time. Sun City was considered a rich place in the Great Zhou country. If one properly managed the restaurant, they would earn quite a bit of money. However, opening a restaurant was not a small expense. From renting the storefront, to renovating and hiring workers, it would cost at least 1 to 200 taels of silver to set up a restaurant. The current Qin Yuan couldn't fork out so much money, but Zhao Xinhui could. The gold, silver, and jewelry that young Master Huang gave her added up to over 1,000 taels of silver. It was enough for her to live for the rest of her life. If she wanted to be richer in the future, she couldn't just sit around and eat until she ran out of money. She had to do business to earn money. When Qin Yuan saw that Zhao Xinhui was willing to fork out money to open a restaurant for him, he was very excited. If he really opened a restaurant, he would earn more money than he did now. If he could earn a lot of money every day, wouldn't he become rich very quickly? You're so good. You're always thinking for me. Now you're even willing to fork out money for me to open a restaurant. Qin Yuan held Zhao Xinhui's hand and said excitedly. Zhao Xinhui smiled sweetly, I'm willing to fork out money for you to open a restaurant because I want you to earn more money in the future. Only then can you bring me to a better life. Chapter 1954. Zhao Xinhui blushed. You can say that now, but you won't forget about me when you become rich, right? Qin Yuan quickly raised his hand and swore, what are you talking about? Don't you know how sincere I am towards you? You're the only person I'll love in this lifetime. No matter if I'm rich or poor, you're the only one I'll love. If I forget about you when I become rich, then I'll be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. Zhao Xinhui quickly covered Qin Yuan's mouth. All right, I believe you. Don't curse yourself anymore. Hee. Qin Yuan laughed happily. Qin Yuan's heart was filled with anticipation when he thought about the wonderful life they would have in the future. The two of them hugged each other intimately. At the same time, they began to fantasize. If we really earn enough money, we can buy a house in Yang City and hire a few servants to take care of your daily needs. We won't be staying in a barren place like the countryside. You can have anything you want to eat or play with. Yang City is very convenient. Zhao Xinhui's heart skipped a beat when she heard this. If they really bought a house in Yang City and hired servants, even though it wouldn't be as good as the Huang residences, they would still be able to live the life of a master. Most importantly, she would be the mistress of the house. She could do whatever she wanted and wouldn't have to care about other people's opinions. Zhao Xinhui planned to marry Qin Yuan when the business of Qin Yuan's restaurant improved. However, she remembered that Qin Yuan still had Zhao Ping by his side. If she married Qin Yuan, would she be his wife or concubine? It was fine if she became young Master Huang's concubine, but if she became Qin Yuan's concubine, her status would be lower than Zhao Ping's. Zhao Xinhui wasn't happy about it. Thus, Zhao Xinhui asked Qin Yuan, if I marry you in the future, what are you going to do with Zhao Ping? Let me tell you, I won't be a concubine, and I won't share a man with Ping, alas, to avoid being laughed at. Qin Yuan hurriedly said, don't worry about this matter. When you marry me, I will divorce Ping. Zhao Xinhui frowned. Thinking about it, it seemed to be too cruel to Zhao Xinhui. He said, it's not good to divorce Ping, right? That Ping girl is too pitiful. Qin Yuan praised Zhao Xinhui. You're too kind. Why do you still care about Zhao Ping? She's so ugly, and she's so ugly. It's normal for her to be divorced. Which man can stand her? Zhao Xinhui pondered for a moment. Although Ping is stupid, she listens to you. She's pregnant with your family Qin's child. If you divorce her, you'll be criticized. Your parents will definitely not agree. Qin Yuan couldn't help but ask, there's no point in worrying so much. Don't tell me we're not going to divorce Zhao Ping. Wouldn't that be unfair to you? Zhao Xinhui's eyes darted around. He calculated and said, Qin Yuan, don't you have an idiot older brother? Why don't we let Zhao Ping be his wife? This doesn't count as driving her out. We'll be able to live a good life and bring her along. We're already doing our best. Upon hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, Qin Yuan readily agreed. That's a good idea. It's good to keep Zhao Xinhui as my older brother's wife. The child in her belly might even be my older brother's. Chapter 1955. Alright, it's decided then. Zhao Xinhui was also very satisfied with this outcome. The two of them snuggled up to each other, and their love for each other grew stronger. After Hu Chunhua entered the house, she saw Zhao Xinhui and Qin Yuan being lovey-dovey. Hu Chunhua's face immediately fell. She didn't expect the two of them to progress so quickly and even get together. If this continued, they would really end up together. Without even thinking, Hu Chunhua was certain that it was Qin Yuan who had seduced his Hui. Thus, she let out a torrent of abuse. Shameless thing, you even dare to touch my Hui. Hurry and get out of my way. Qin Yuan was so frightened that he hurriedly retreated to the side. His mouth trembled as he explained, Grandma, my aunt and I are in love. Hu Chunhua spat at Qin Yuan. Bah, why don't you take a piss and look at yourself in the mirror? Do you think you're good enough for Hui? Grandma. Qin Yuan called out weakly. In front of Hu Chunhua, he couldn't muster up much courage because he knew that Hu Chunhua looked down on him. Who asked them to be poor? They were used to being looked down upon by others. Hu Chunhua said with a cold face, let me tell you, there are already rumors in the village. It's bad for Hui's reputation. I think you shouldn't come to my house next time. Qin Yuan immediately became anxious. Grandma. If I don't come, how can I see my aunt? Alright. In any case, don't be a toad lusting after a swan's meat and have designs on our family's Hui. If I tell you not to come, then don't come. What's the point of saying so much nonsense? Hu Chunhua scolded in displeasure. Qin Yuan's pleading gaze fell on Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui quickly tugged at Hu Chunhua. Mother, what are you doing? Qin Yuan came over because he cares about me. How can you let him go? Hu Chunhua sighed and spoke to Zhao Xinhui in a much gentler tone. Hui, I'm doing this for your own good. The people in the village are too mean, don't let him come over again, what they say is their own business. Let's do our own thing. Why do we have to care about what others say? Seeing this, Hu Chunhua asked anxiously, Hui, don't tell me you've taken a liking to this guy. You'll lead a hard life if you're with him. Moreover, he's Ping's man. If you're with him, wouldn't it be incest? That's what the villagers are laughing at. Zhao Xinhui shouted, Mother, when the time comes, Qin Yuan can just divorce Ping. Now that the family isn't as poor as before, they're even preparing to open a restaurant. When the restaurant's business is good and it makes a lot of money, not only will you not lead a hard life but you'll also be able to enjoy life with him. Hu Chunhua gaped in surprise. What? Qin Yuan is opening a restaurant? Yes, Mother. Do you think opening a restaurant in Yang City will make money? Although Hu Chunhua didn't know much, she knew that opening a restaurant would definitely make money. He's so capable now. Hu Chunhua muttered in surprise. Mother, won't you find out in the future whether it's true or not? That's true. But Hui, do you mean that you're really willing to be with this guy? Zhao Xinhui frowned. Mother, look at me. I've already been divorced by my husband's family. How can I find a good in-law? Chapter 1956. Hu Chunhua did not reply, but she took Zhao Xinhui's words to heart. If that was the case, then Qin Yuan was indeed a good choice. She was afraid that Qin Yuan did not have the ability to fool Zhao Xinhui. Her daughter was also very naive and would believe whatever others said. If that brat really becomes successful in the future, you won't object to being together with him. But before that, it's best to avoid him. So it's best if you don't come to Qin Yuan so that people won't gossip, Hu Chunhua said firmly. Mother. Zhao Xinhui tried to persuade Hu Chunhua, but before she could finish, she was rejected by Hu Chunhua. There's no room for discussion. You have to think about me, your father, and our old Zhao family. So many people are waiting to laugh at us. You're already so old, so you should be more sensible. I'm not completely against it. When Qin Yuan becomes successful, I'll come and look for you in a grand manner. Isn't that good? Seeing that there was no room for negotiation, Zhao Xinhui could only say, all right then. Mother, can you let me talk to Qin Yuan alone for a while? Let him go after I'm done, okay? Hu Chunhua reluctantly nodded in agreement. Okay, let him hurry up. Okay. After Hu Chunhua left, Qin Yuan approached Zhao Xinhui with an anxious expression. What should I do now? I feel uneasy if I don't see you for a day. Didn't you hear what my mother said? If you want to see me sooner and be with me sooner, then hurry up and open the restaurant. Once you've earned enough money, won't we be able to see each other every day? Zhao Xinhui said coquettishly. Qin Yuan was immediately filled with enthusiasm when he heard this. Okay, then I'll open the restaurant as soon as possible. I'll definitely bring you to a good life. I'll marry you as soon as possible. Zhao Xinhui smiled, took out a money bag, and handed it to the Qin Yuan. This is the capital. Take it. Don't let me down. Qin Yuan took the bag of silver ingots and estimated that there were more than 100 taels of silver. It was enough to open a restaurant. Qin Yuan nodded solemnly. I'll work hard for you. Trust me. Zhao Xinhui threw herself into Qin Yuan's arms and said softly, although I won't be able to see you for a while, I know that it's for the sake of a better start for us. Qin Yuan, I hope you can succeed this time. Qin Yuan lowered his head and kissed Zhao Xinhui's forehead. He replied dotingly, don't worry, I won't let you down. The two of them were reluctant to part. Just then, they heard Hu Chunhua impatiently standing in the courtyard and urging them to leave. Qin Yuan reluctantly let go of Zhao Xinhui and said to Zhao Xinhui, I'll leave first. Take good care of yourself. Yes, I will. Zhao Xinhui nodded heavily. The two of them were like a couple in love. When they parted, they were full of reluctance. Old Zhao's sisters-in-law finally breathed a sigh of relief when they heard that Qin Yuan had been driven away by Hu Chunhua. Feng Zhangsha sighed. Fortunately, mother isn't too unreasonable. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do. Yes. Fortunately. Qian Hongzhao said. Now we don't have to worry anymore. Sister-in-law, let's go make dinner. It's getting late. Chapter 1957. How could they have disappeared? Feng Zhangsha rummaged through the cupboard a few more times, but she still couldn't find them. Her face instantly darkened. Unless they had been stolen, it was impossible for them to disappear without a trace. Unfortunately, her sisters-in-law had all gone to Liang Jinxiao's place to chat during the day, and they weren't in old Zhao's courtyard. Feng Zhangsha hurriedly looked for Hu Chunhua and asked her about it. Mother, did you see any outsiders coming to our house today? What outsiders? Other than Ping'er and Qin Yuan, I didn't see anyone else coming to our house. Feng Zhangsha thought for a moment. Zhao Ping'er had been sitting in the courtyard the whole time, and she didn't see anything in her pocket when she came back. Besides, Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan both looked very rich and had sent so many good things over. How could they have gone through so much trouble just to steal 2 eggs? Since it wasn't an outsider, and it wasn't Zhao Ping'er or Qin Yuan, Did it mean that it was a family member who had stolen the eggs? Feng Zhangxia suspected that it was either Hu Chunhua or Zhao Wenshui who had stolen the eggs. Hu Chunhua usually liked to take advantage of small things. Perhaps she had seen the 2 eggs in her house and casually took them and gave them to Zhao Xinhui to nourish her body. Zhao Wenshui was a glutton. Previously, he had even secretly drunk the chicken soup, so it was even more likely that he had stolen the 2 eggs in her house. Feng Zhangxia frowned and asked Hu Chunhua cautiously, "Mother, did you see the 2 eggs in my cupboard?" Hu Chunhua replied with a puzzled expression, "How would I know if there were eggs in your cupboard? Why are you asking me this?" Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly. "That. Mother, the 2 eggs in my cupboard suddenly disappeared, so I came over to ask if you saw them." Hu Chunhua's face darkened. She was not a fool. How could she not know what Feng Zhangxia meant? She then yelled at Feng Zhangxia, "You black-hearted woman, how dare you suspect this old woman? Am I that kind of person?" Feng Zhangxia quickly smiled apologetically. "Mother, don't be angry. I didn't mean it that way." "You don't mean that? Then what do you mean?" "Mother, I just asked casually. I didn't say it was you." Bah! Hu Chunhua spat a mouthful of saliva on the ground. "If I wanted to take it, I wouldn't have stolen it. I would have just asked you for it." "Yes, yes, yes," Feng Zhangxia quickly responded. Hu Chunhua rolled her eyes a few times and went into the kitchen. Meanwhile, Feng Zhangxia was really thinking about the whereabouts of her 2 eggs. Since it wasn't Hu Chunhua who took it, it must be Zhao Wenshui. At the thought of this, Feng Zhangxia felt a little angry and rushed into the second branch's room. The moment Feng Zhangxia walked into Zhao Wenshui's room, she shouted angrily at Zhao Wenshui, second brother. Zhao Wenshui was lying on the bed. When he saw Feng Zhangxia come in, he immediately smiled apologetically and said, "Sister-in-law, what are you doing in my room?" Before Feng Zhangxia could question Zhao Wenshui rolled his eyes and muttered to himself, "Sister-in-law, if you miss me, you don't have to come to my room in broad daylight. This is too blatant. You should tell me secretly that we're going out at night." Hearing Zhao Wenshui's filthy words, Feng Zhangxia's face instantly turned red. Chapter 1958. Fortunately, no one in the house heard her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to explain herself. Zhao Wenshui was shameless, but she was. If someone with ulterior motives heard this and spread rumors, she would be too ashamed to continue staying in the village. Zhao Wenshui smiled wickedly and said, "Sister-in-law, you're much prettier than my wife. I know Big Brother has been injured recently, so there's definitely nothing going on between the 2 of you. You must be feeling lonely and want someone to help you loosen the soil, right? Sister-in-law, you found the right person. I'll definitely work harder than Big Brother." Feng Zhangxia's face turned even redder. She spat on Zhao Wenshui's face and said, "Second brother, what nonsense are you talking about? You only have these dirty thoughts in your head. I'm telling you, don't talk nonsense with me. There's nothing going on between the 2 of us. Don't make it sound like there's something going on between us." Zhao Wenshui was stunned and a touch of disappointment appeared between his eyebrows. "Sister-in-law, if you didn't come looking for me because of this, then why did you come to my house?" Feng Zhangxia was furious at Zhao Wenshui. "Second brother, did you steal the 2 eggs in my cupboard?" "Sister-in-law, I..." Zhao Wenshui felt guilty and didn't know how to respond. He had indeed stolen the 2 eggs in the cupboard in the first room. Because he had slept until dawn and Li Chuiying wasn't home when he woke up, he couldn't find anything to eat in the kitchen. He didn't have to think about it to know that his wife must have done it on purpose. In the end, he could only look in the cupboard in the first room. When he saw the 2 eggs, he cooked them and ate them to fill his stomach. Unexpectedly, Feng Zhangxia came looking for him. Seeing Zhao Wenshui's reaction, Feng Zhangxia knew very well that Zhao Wenshui must have stolen the 2 eggs. She couldn't help but scold him again. "Second brother, aren't you going too far? Why did you have to be a thief? I only had a few eggs left at home, and you stole them. What do you want my Yang to eat?" Zhao Wenshui hurriedly said, "Sister-in-law, don't be angry. It's just 2 eggs. I was hungry during the day, so I cooked it and ate it. I didn't steal it. Originally, I wanted to wait for you to come back and tell you. Now that you've come to ask me about it, I'll compensate you. I'll compensate you, all right?" Feng Zhangxia's expression softened a little. If Zhao Wenshui was willing to compensate, she could forgive him. "Second brother, 1 egg is 1 copper coin, but you took 2 of my eggs without my permission, so you have to compensate me with 1 copper coin. Give me 3 copper coins." Zhao Wenshui replied with a smile, Okay, sister-in-law. 3 yuan it is." When Feng Zhangxia saw that Zhao Wenshui was so easy to talk to, she was secretly happy that she had gotten a copper coin for free. However, he didn't show it on his face. Instead, he said to Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother, at least you know your place. Hurry up and give me the 3 copper coins." "Okay." Zhao Wenshui answered, then eagerly went to rummage through the boxes and cabinets. Zhao Wenshui took out 3 copper coins from the box and handed it to Feng Zhangxia. Feng Zhangxia took it, but Zhao Wenshui grabbed Feng Zhangxia's hand. Feng Zhangxia exclaimed, "Second brother, what are you doing?" Zhao Wenshui smiled wretchedly, "Sister-in-law, your hand is so beautiful. It feels so comfortable to touch." Chapter 1959. Zhao Wenshui dared to molest her. You let go of me," Feng Zhangxia exclaimed in a low voice. She didn't dare to be too loud for fear of alarming the people outside. Zhao Wenshui pushed his luck. "Sister-in-law, I'm just touching you. It's no big deal, right? Don't go too far. I'm your sister-in-law. How can you molest me like this?" Zhao Wenshui still didn't intend to let go. "Sister-in-law, I just think you're prettier than my wife. I didn't dare to say it before, and I couldn't find a chance to say it. Now that you've come to me in person, I can't help it. Sister-in-law, look at big brother lying on the bed and can't move. How can a woman not have a man for so long? Let me help you." As Zhao Wenshui spoke, he pulled Feng Zhangxia into his arms. Feng Zhangxia struggled, but she couldn't break free from Zhao Wenshui's embrace. "You, hurry up and let go of me. What are you doing? This is something only an animal would do." Zhao Wenshui leaned close to Feng Zhangxia and sniffed her body. He said to Feng Zhangxia, "Sister-in-law, you smell so good. You're an animal." Feng Zhangxia's face flushed and she cursed in a low voice. Go away, go away. If you don't let go, I'm going to scream. You'll be beaten to death for behaving like an animal." Zhao Wenshui smiled fawningly and said, "Sister-in-law, can you bear to see me get beaten up?" Feng Zhangxia felt disgusted. "Bah, why can't I bear to see you get beaten up? Sister-in-law, I'm not worse than big brother. How can you be so cruel to me?" Feng Zhangxia was very anxious. Zhao Wenshui refused to let go of her. She didn't know what to do now. Although Zhao Wenshui wasn't good at work, he was more than enough to deal with a woman like her. She couldn't break free, but she didn't dare to shout out loud. If someone saw this scene, it would be terrible. While she was worrying, Li Chuiying and Qian Hongzhou suddenly rushed in. Li Chuiying was going to give Qian Hongzhao some rags at home, but who knew that when she came in, she would see Zhao Wenshui and Feng Zhangxia hugging each other. What are you doing? Li Chuiying's eyes were filled with shock. Zhao Wenshui hurriedly let go of Feng Zhangxia. Feng Zhangxia hurriedly explained to Li Chuiying, "Sister-in-law, it's not what you think." Li Chuiying opened his mouth. "But sister-in-law, you, second sister-in-law, don't misunderstand. There's nothing between me and second brother. It's all second brother's fault. He insisted on carrying me over and doing what a beast would do." Feng Zhangxia said, wiping the tears from the corner of her eyes. Thinking about it, she felt wronged. "Second brother, what's going on? How can you hug sister-in-law properly?" Qian Hongzhao asked with a frown. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that it was strange. Zhao Wenshui was at a loss for words. He didn't know how to explain. They were already seen, so he couldn't say that he didn't hug her. Li Chuiying's resentful eyes fell on Zhao Wenshui. He snorted and said, "I think he's just lustful. He can't do anything to other people, so he wants to do something to sister-in-law." Li Chuiying knew very well that with Zhao Wenshui's qualities, who would want him? He was lazy every day. Just looking at him was annoying. Chapter 1960. Zhao Wenshui's ears turned red. Although he was usually thick-skinned, he could not allow others to talk about him like that. He scolded Li Chuiying, "You be *tch, what nonsense are you talking about?" Li Chuiying's neck was red as she said, "Isn't that right? Tianyu's father, it's fine that you did it in the past. I thought you would be a good person, but it seems like a leopard can't change its spots. You only want to do such dirty things." Feng Zhangxia also hurriedly complained tearfully, "Second brother, I'm different from that widow Qian. I'm a decent woman. I won't do such things with you. If there's any bad news about me this time, I won't let you off." Zhao Wenshui's expression became even uglier. He clenched his fists. Li Chuiying did not give him any face at all. He was her man after all. How could she talk about him like that in front of others? "You ugly *tch, if you dare to say anything more, I'll punish you." Qian Zondate hurriedly stood in front of Li Chuiying and said to Zhao Wenshui unhappily, "Second brother, aren't you going too far? You're in the wrong this time. Why are you being so fierce to second sister-in-law?" Li Chuiying complained tearfully, "Hasn't he always been like this? He's heartless. I must have been blind to live with him. When I came back for Jing's sake, I thought he would repent. Now I know that it's harder to get someone like him to repent than to reach the heavens." Qian Zondate looked at Li Chuiying sympathetically. The most pitiful thing about a woman was that she married an unreliable man. Sometimes, it was fine to be a little poor. The most important thing was that both of them worked hard. As long as the man cherished the woman would also be able to live a happy life. However, his second brother was simply inhumane. He only knew how to do such dirty things and hurt Li Chuiying time and time again. It was bad enough that he ordered Li Chuiying around every day, but he was actually disloyal. "Second sister-in-law, it's better to ask our father to uphold justice for this matter. Second brother must give you an explanation. We also need to give sister-in-law an explanation. How could our old Zhao family do such a thing?" Qian Zhui said with a serious face. "Okay." Li Chuiying gritted his teeth and replied. She really needed an explanation for this matter. Anyway, she didn't want to continue living with Zhao Wenshui. Feng Zhangxia also agreed, "Yes, let father uphold justice for this matter. There is nothing between me and second brother, but he did such a thing to me." Zhao Wenshui was worried. If Xiao Bensha knew about it, he would break his legs. Thus, he begged with a bitter face, Tianyu's mother, sister-in-law, I was wrong. I won't do it again. Please don't tell father about this matter, okay? Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia had no intention of relenting. Zhao Wenshui became even more worried. Wife, sister-in-law, please don't tell father. I really know I was wrong. Please forgive me this time. Li Chuiying said coldly, Tianyu's father, you have to have a conscience. Haven't I given you enough chances? How could you treat me like this? At this point, you still want me to give you another chance. Even if I let you go, shouldn't you be punished for treating sister-in-law like this? Chapter 1961. Feng Zhangxia wanted to prove her innocence. She couldn't let her two sisters-in-law misunderstand, and she couldn't let Zhao Wenshui treat her like this in the future. This matter had to be put on the table and made clear. If she punished Zhao Wenshui well, Zhao Wenshui probably wouldn't dare to do it again in the future. She couldn't be too merciful to this kind of person who couldn't change his habits. Second sister-in-law and fourth sister-in-law are right. Second brother, people like you who are worse than animals should be taught a lesson. Let father uphold justice for me. Feng Zhangxia said with a cold face. Zhao Wenshui suddenly panicked. Sister-in-law, daughter-in-law. Whoa, I really don't dare. Please don't tell father. You can ask me to do anything in the future, as long as you don't tell father. Looking at Zhao Wenshui's appearance, the women had a lot of disgust for him. He had the desire to do it but didn't have the courage. Didn't he think of the consequences of doing it? The three women ignored Zhao Wenshui and turned to leave the second branch's room. Zhao Baoshan just came back from working in the fields and was about to have lunch when he saw his daughters-in-law walk up to him with a strange expression. What's wrong with you? Zhao Baoshan asked casually. Feng Zhangxia immediately cried and complained, Father, you have to uphold justice for me. Zhao Baoshan frowned and replied, What's wrong? What do you want me to uphold justice for? If you have something to say it clearly. Feng Zhangxia cried and complained with snot and tears. After hearing Feng Zhangxia's words, Zhao Baoshan's face had already darkened. He scolded, that animal, doing all these dirty things. Eating all day long, being lazy, and doing things like stealing. I won't count him. Previously, I didn't care much about what he did to Widow Qian. Now, he has stretched his claws to the head of his own family and can do such things to his own sister-in-law. Isn't it shameful to say it out loud? You've really disgraced yourself, and you've also disgraced our whole family. If I don't teach him a lesson today, my surname isn't Zhao anymore. Zhao Baoshan was so angry that he wanted to skin Zhao Wenshui alive. If this matter was spread out, they would become a laughing stock. In the future, old Zhao's family would not be able to raise their heads in the village. Where is Lao Heir? Where is Lao Heir? Seeing that Zhao Wenshui was not in front of him, Zhao Baoshan shouted. At this moment, Zhao Wenshui didn't dare to come out. He directly hid under the bed, afraid that Zhao Baoshan would find him. Father, second brother is still in the room. Qian Zhui replied. Zhao Baoshan walked around the courtyard and rushed into the second branch's room with a wooden stick in his hand. You bastard, hurry up and come out. Zhao Wenshui was so scared that he shivered and hid under the bed, not daring to make a sound. When Zhao Baoshan saw that there was no one in the room, he grumbled unhappily, Where is she? Where is she? Where did she go? Just now, Zhao Wenshui didn't come out and didn't leave the courtyard, so he must still be in the second branch's room. Li Chuiying replied, Father, she must still be hiding in the room. Zhao Baoshan immediately scolded, Stinking brat, you bastard, where did you hide? Hurry up and come out. If you don't come out, I'll teach you a lesson. Zhao Wenshui shivered and thought that he would die even faster if he came out. He would only come out if he was a fool. Chapter 1962. Zhao Wenshui thought that Li Chuiying was right. The house was only so big. Where could Zhao Wenshui hide? So they rummaged through the cabinets and finally found Zhao Wenshui under the bed. Zhao Baoshan became even angrier when he saw Zhao Wenshui, a grown man, cowering under the bed. What kind of bastard did he give birth to? He had simply thrown away all of his old face. He had the guts to do dirty things but didn't have the guts to take responsibility. Now he was hiding under the bed. As a man, how could he hide under the bed? Bastard, come out! Zhao Baoshan yelled at Zhao Wenshui under the bed. Father! Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Baoshan pitifully. When he saw the wooden stick in Zhao Baoshan's hand, he didn't dare to come out. Father, if you don't hit me, I'll come out. Zhao Wenshui bargained. No matter what, he had to fight for it. Don't hit you. If I don't hit you, you'll be overthrown. Look at what you've done. You still have the nerve to ask me not to hit you. Today I'll teach you a lesson about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Zhao Baoshan said with a dark face. Zhao Wenshui curled his lips and hid under the bed. Father, if you don't agree and insist on hitting me, then I'll hide under the bed and not come out. Hearing Zhao Wenshui's words, Zhao Baoshan's beard almost blew up. However, he couldn't crawl under the bed like Zhao Wenshui and drag Zhao Wenshui out. After all, he was old and his legs were not very convenient. His wives were all women. Even if they crawled under the bed, they wouldn't be able to drag Zhao Wenshui out. However, if he let Zhao Wenshui hide under the bed, he wouldn't be able to deal with him. How could he take it lying down? If you know what's good for you, then hurry up and come out. Don't force me to make a move. When the time comes, you'll suffer together with me. Zhao Baoshan warned. Zhao Wenshui replied pitifully, Father, I'm going to be beaten anyway. If I come out later, I'll be beaten later. I won't come out. Zhao Baoshan saw that Zhao Wenshui's ruffian appearance made people angry and worried, so he said to Li Chuiying, second daughter-in-law, bring the iron fork from home. If he doesn't come out, I'll use the fork to stab him to death. The pitchfork that Zhao Baoshan mentioned was a farming tool. It was usually used to fork rice. The handle was very long and the top was shaped like a bull's horn. However, it was made of iron and was very sharp. If it really pierced into a person's body, it could kill them. Hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Zhao Wenshui was so scared that he peed his pants under the bed. His father was too ruthless, wasn't he? How could he think of such a move? He wasn't soft-hearted at all. After all, he was his biological son. Father, I'll come out. I'll come out right away. Zhao Wenshui trembled and hurriedly crawled out from under the bed. However, as soon as he came out, he was greeted with Zhao Baoshan's wooden stick. I'll beat you to death, you bastard. Didn't you say you wouldn't come out? Keep hiding. The wooden stick fell on Zhao Wenshui's body. Zhao Wenshui felt a burst of pain and shouted, Father, it hurts so much. Stop hitting me. Zhao Baoshan hit him while snorting coldly. Stop hitting. You bastard, you still know pain. Why don't you think about what you've done and whether you deserve to be hit? Zhao Wenshui hurriedly admitted his mistake. Father, I was wrong. I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again. Please spare me this time. Chapter 1963. Father. I really won't do it again. I was just confused for a moment. Please forgive me. Zhao Wenshui begged as he dodged. After being hit several times, Zhao Wenshui felt that his body couldn't take it anymore. His body was probably bruised and swollen. Zhao Baoshan was tired, so he stopped to take a breather. "Father, what do you think we should do about this? Second brother did such a thing to me. If others find out, I won't have the face to live." Feng Zhangxia cried as she wiped her tears. Zhao Baoshan sighed heavily. He had hit and scolded his son, but his second son's behavior was too much. His eldest daughter-in-law probably still felt uncomfortable. If he didn't deal with it properly, his eldest daughter-in-law would definitely complain. Thus, Zhao Baoshan said, "Eldest daughter-in-law, I'll leave this brat to you. You can do whatever you want." Feng Zhangxia thought for a moment. "Father, this matter will affect my reputation after all. I don't want to live in the same courtyard as second brother in the future. Seeing him makes me sad." Zhao Wenshui was a little puzzled. "But we only have one house. We have to live under the same roof." Feng Zhangxia said with a cold face, "Then let second brother compensate me. I'll take the money and go outside to build a house. Jing Er will have a lot of betrothal gifts after she gets married. There should be dozens of taels. Give me 15 taels and I'll forget about this matter." 15 taels of silver wasn't a lot, but it definitely wasn't a small amount. With the 15 taels of silver, she could add some more. Then she could build a brick house like Zhao Yun-er's house. Of course, Zhao Yun-er's house was so expensive because there were more than 10 rooms. Their family could build 3 or 4 rooms together. They could save on materials and wages. They could live in a brick house. It was definitely much better than living in old Zhao's shabby courtyard. After hearing Feng Zhangxia's request, Zhao Wenshui naturally didn't agree. Li Chuiying was also a little unhappy. At the end of the day, the money was given by his precious daughter's husband's family after she got married. It belonged to him and Zhao Wenshui. Why should he pay for Zhao Wenshui's actions? Moreover, 15 taels of silver was enough for a family to use for a long time. It was enough to buy a few mu of land. "Sister-in-law, aren't you being too greedy? If I give you 15 taels of silver, what am I going to eat in the future?" Zhao Wenshui said directly. Feng Zhangxia said unhappily, "Second brother, I don't want money. You can move out of old Zhao's house and compensate me for my mental damage. Or you can build a house for me, as long as I don't see you." Zhao Wenshui had a difficult expression on his face. How could he possibly do this? His sister-in-law was simply making things difficult for him on purpose. Where could he go if he moved away from old Zhao's house? "Sister-in-law, if that's not possible, then take out another 15 taels of silver." Feng Zhangxia's attitude was very tough. She didn't want to suffer for nothing. This time, she wanted to take advantage of Zhao Wenshui. Otherwise, she would feel sorry for herself. "Father." Zhao Wenshui's eyes fell on Zhao Baoshan. He hoped that Zhao Baoshan could say a few words for him. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.